on the World Wide Web. This is
KRM Internet Radio 97.9 FM.
Your number one internet radio station.
The Pinoy sounds.
The music you love right here, right now.
KRM Internet Radio, the Pinoy sounds, Maui, Hawaii.
Jak tupulos malipatan at aliyawin,
pangalagdan naglabas at awen imadan nga imuli na talingengen kaduwak sunata nagdayeng nagbanagen na imuli tunggal pangal ti panagbiag ko aweng ti musika nang atibay na nursuro amang patibker mga iwan boses ko tapno kantak may pangeg ko kada kayo jak tumauma nga umay mangipatayab putar ko a musika tapno umay agrukbab ket awaten nyo kas pagyaman ko kakabsak kadagiti impaayo pamate kinayat manun atawen naglabas sa kinaduwada nang suporta ng tagibi na ngaywan kaniya da kayo kenti aweng puno akaduwak tapno agtalina edak disu apagtaktak dera Katadanggayan na ako manta tapno agsininged puso kenrik nata ket sapay ta malaglagip na tulata babaen ti sunata anaputar gapuken ka na imuli tunggal pangal ti panagbiag ko aweng ti musika nang atibay na nursuro amang patibker mga iwan boses ko tapno kantak may pangeg ko kada kayo jak tumauma nga umay mangipatayab putar ko a musika tapno umay agrukbab ket awaten nyo kas pagyaman ko kakabsat kadagiti impaayo pamate kinayat manun atawen naglabas sa kinaduwadak nang suporta ng tagibi na ngaywan kaniyak da kayo kenti aweng puno akaduwak tapno agtalina edak disu apagtaktak dera da kayo kenti aweng puno akaduwak tapno agtalina edak disu apagtaktak dera
Paiso kadida giti damag amang mangyeg po iti COVID-19 kasano paneknekan dagito ya damag maituloy a libre kadida giti bakuna booster ken test kalpasan kadin iti COVID-19 a pandemya. Itultuloy mi FC Cares at tumulong iti komunidad ken adda kami manen ditoy radyo tapno kadawaan da kayo asumungbat kadagitoy ken da dumapay. Filcom Cares is federally funded through Hawaii Public Health Institute administered by the Filcom Center.
Nay mga bigat yu amin kakabsat ken gagayem ay kita dapay iti 20 minutos sakbay nga isarek tayo dagiti host iti daytoy special program matawagan tayo iti Radiothon 7 manipud iti Filcom Cares kakabsat ken ket daytoy ket tagpaut iti 3 nga oras. Iti oras ti alas 10 saging ganay iti oras iti alas alauna kung natin man kedi 10 to 1. Radiothon hosted by Manong Larry Ordonez sa J. Honolulu. Ken kasamatin ken ni Ma'am Clemen Montero. Ket alam mabalin tayo ti makipartisipar kagitoing topic kakabsat do pwede dagiti entertainment ngentay mabuya. So standby lang dita. Nyaman dagiti Kuya Brian when enjoyin nyo pa lang dagiti music manipud dito KRM Internet Radio. Yes, this is a Radiothon 7 simulcasting for radio station in Hawaii and kadagiti amin namin nga dumdumngeg. We're live also at YouTube channel iti KRM Internet Radio. Kaya tagtultuloy lang tangaro dagiti kang kansyon ken tuktukar iti KRM pangururan tayo iti signal manipud iti Radiothon 7 manipud sa J. Honolulu programa special programming iti Filcom Cares kakabsat ken gigiyem. Okay? All right. Thank you. Subliak to manen.
Tadya kabailan amapukaw katen na tangamit na irwamak nga daka mang taripato mangayat kaniyak tinapudno ulitek ken ibalikas kuken ka ako pang tuy puso ken rikna uray managin na dayuta agmay may saka nga agtagikwa lipaten kan di kunak ngem saan tadya kabailan amapukaw kaden na tangamit na irwama nga daka mang taripato mangayat kaniyak tinapudno ulitek ken ibalikas kuken ka ako kwang tuy puso ken rikna uray managin na dayuta agmay may saka nga agtagikwa nalawa lugar iti nagbaetanta taaddaak Pinas ketaddakat Hawaii kailiw ko tinapintas alangen-langen ta ikaw ang biyag ko iya adayom ditoy den na ulitek ken ibalikas ko ken ka. Ako pam tuy puso ken rikna. Uray managing nadayuta ag may saka nga agtagikwa. Nalawa a lugar pinagbaetan ta. At daak Pinas ketad dakat Hawaii. Kailiw ko di napintas langin-langin ta. Ikaw ang piyag ko, iya adayong ito'y din na. Kailiw ko di napintas langin-langin ta. Ikaw ang piyag ko, iya adayong dito'y din na. Ikaw ang piyag ko, iya adayong dito'y din na.
Ito ang KRM Internet Radio. Maaari mo kami puntahan sa www.krmradio.net at i-download ang aming app sa Google Play Store upang makailang gamit 24/7. Thanks for tuning in.
Sumingising manen init jay daya, maniput parbangun arapaap ka. Daytoy pusok sikat di ipitpitik na ken sikat ag nanayon anang tagikwa. Inaldaw-aldaw tinarigagay ka, amang ikuto'y kakaysuna arik na. Ket nagtulit ti panawen sika ita mangpunpunas lulwak no siyak agsagaba. Agikuto'y puso kaputa sikala di ipatpatek ko aging kamagsak anges ko now and forever. Dinamilikan dito'y panunot ko, kas aniniwan at da iti likod ko. Naura ano agtudo adda ka kanayong tuy sipay ko. Now and forever, when si kalaen biyak ko, tiyak tagi kuwa, tay tuy kariken ayat ko. Nga uray dumteng tutan luyon ken bagyo, itaken itiyak na nayon, si katagi ko tuy puso. Gaputa si kala, di papatek ko. Aging gamagsat anes ko, now and forever. Aging gamagsat anes ko, now and forever. Aging gamagsat anes ko, now and forever.
Wow, a beautiful song from Mr. Ben Bautista. Ay, dapay sa ngapulong minutos kabsat ken gagayem. Iti sa rek, dagiti special programming tayo manipod iti Filcom Cares Radiothon 7. Ket tikunakon simulcasting dito of 4 different station here in Hawaii. Pakiramanan iti station tayo KRM Internet Radio. Pangurayan tayo kadagiti host the Manong Larry Ordonez manipod iti Honolulu, iti KNDI ken kastamiten ken ni Ma'am Clemen Montero ken dito dagiti topic ngentay maadal kakabsat ken gigem kayat iti maki-join ay ket let's do it. Why not? Ken do pa dagiti entertainers nga amang liwliwa kadatay namin babay niti intay pa nagbibuya pa nagdingdingeg iti Radiothon 7 manipod iti Filcom Cares. Panguraan pa lang dagiti host kabsat ken game it ken iti signal iti main station ket may samampay nga kansyon para kada kayamin namin nga sangapada.
Sabay kumabiyag ko taimdinga, unoy tuy agayat ken ka. Sunataan na ikamer iti ayat, anak taod kaunggan tuy puso. Langit iti kayarigak ken ka, wen sika tinararapa ako. Napateg ka tuy puso ken rigna, jak kaya amapugaw ka din na sikalaeng di inay ayat ko, idi ita ken tiyag na nayon sikabiyag ko magkaigapon nuapay naragsak ti lubong ko sikalaeng iinay ayat ko sikalaeng usal datoy biyak ko napatek ka dito'y puso wen sika sika, di nararapa ako. Napatek ka, to'y pusok Henrik na. Diyak kaya, numapukaw ka din na. Si kalaeng, di inay ayat ko. Idi ita, kendi agnanayon. Si kabyag ko't makaiga po. Nuapay, naragsak tilubong ko. Si kalaeng, di inay ayat ko. Si kalaeng, usal na to'y biyag ko. Napatek ka, dito'y puso. Wen sika, sika tinay ayat ko. Napatek ka, dito'y puso. Wen sikat, sikat tinay ayat ko. Wen sikat, sikat tinay ayat ko.
Miss Clemen Montero, our program host, will be joining us very shortly.
Lumuha man ako nang dahil sa iyo. Di ko magagawang magalit ng totoo. Pagkat ikaw lamang ang tanging mahal ko. Pag-ibig ko sa iyo. Ang aking buhay ay lagi nang masaya. Buhat ng tayo ay pinag-isa.
And it is now 9:57 in Honolulu, Hawaii. Sa Pinas, it's 3:57 a.m. on a Sunday morning. If you had chosen to be with us today and take a glimpse as well as listen to the very important messages from our medical professionals, stay with us. This is Filcom Cares Radiothon number 7. Our program host, Clemen Montero, will be joining us very shortly. Also, we will have some quick videos of what's happening over on the island of Maui. And what's happening there? They are having their Barrio Fiesta. We have Filcom Cares representatives who will be joining us live from the island of Maui very shortly. And of course, we have virtual guests of entertainers from all over the world. We'd like to say thank you to them for accepting our invitation to help us out, entertain our viewers and listeners on Filcom Cares Radiothon number 7. I'm Larry Ordonez. We will be right back, and when we come back, Miss Clemen Montero will be joining us.
Sa akin ay naghihintay. Sampalitang walang kaparis, ang bango'y kaakit-akit. Saksi ka ng mga pusong nagsusumbaan sa pag-ibig. At ngayon ko naalala ang kahapon na nung ligaya. Ikaw ang bulaklak na naging kwintas ko galing sa aking simula.
Good morning!
Aloha! Aloha from the island of Hawaii. Kumusta kayong lahat? Nakikinig kayo ngayon dito sa KNDI 1270 AM. We also have Larry Ordonez here, of course.
I'm not supposed to be here.
But we're
It's supposed to
happy
be
that you're
just
here.
you. Yeah. But glad to be here. I'm excited and partly nervous being here with you. Yes. We have lots of monitors around and switchers and audio, and glad to be a part of this good cause to inform our community, Clemen, about what's good for their health.
Exactly. Maraming salamat. You're always our pillar here in broadcast. So maraming salamat. We are also joined by Pinoy Power Media, 104.7 FM. Emmy Anderson is our best friend there, who always gives us the extra time whenever we do our Monday broadcast. Salamat, Emmy. Of course, we are in 100.3 HD2 KRM Internet Radio with Ray Patao. That's Maui. 97.9 FM. Mabuy-buya da kami met iti live on Facebook ni Sir Larry Ordonez. Also, iti Filcom Cares can on my Facebook page. And I believe Dr. Agnes Malate, our co-founder, is also streaming live. So if you are friends on Facebook, please join us there. We are broadcasting, and we are brought to you by the Hawaii Public Health Institute. A federal grant was given to them. So federal grant through Hawaii Public Health Institute, HiFi, and administered by our very own Filipino Community Center. Taus-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong lahat na kasama namin ngayon. This is Clemen Montero, the Communications and Culture Specialist for Filipino Community Cares Project. And I always want to say the CARES stands for Coronavirus Aid Relief and Economic Security. We are Filcom Cares. Iregat mi nga ipadamag kada kayo dagiti kang runaan or most significant impact sa online iti COVID-19 ngem amin na pagsasaritaan gapo iti salun at just like what Sir Larry had mentioned. We provide for you ongoing outreach education, resources, vaccinations, and testing opportunities to Filipino communities in the whole Hawaii. Our mission is to grow a stronger and healthier Filipino community through collaborative partnerships. We envision a unified and engaged community grounded in Filipino values. Importante sa amin ang bayanihan, working together, lakas or strength, and kapwa, of course, shared sense of humanity. Ang mensahe namin ay naririnig sa buong mundo. Worldwide kami. Our message is heard globally because of our connections, as mentioned with Sir Larry Ordonez and his followers who are from all over the world. Maraming salamat po sa inyong lahat. Maririnig din ninyo ang iba sa kanila sa aming entertainment portion. Stay with us. Nandito kami mula alas 10 ng umaga hanggang alauna. Nagadudagiti kayat mi nga ipadamag kada kayo ken adudagiti makitimpuyo kada kami tapno maamuan you met dagiti kasapulan tayo amin kada tayo amin nga aramiden tapno nasalun at ti panunot bagi ken kararwa tayo. So marami kaming gustong ipaalam sa inyo at marami ring dumalo ngayon. At kasama namin para ipaalam sa inyo ang iba't ibang paraan para maging maginhawa ang isip, katawan at kaluluwa. And just on the side, our broadcast today is going to be in English, Tagalog, Ilocano. And we hope in the future we might have other Philippine languages, but these are the major languages that are spoken here in Hawaii. And we are broadcasting also in the Philippines. Pero alas 3 pa yata, alas 4 ng umaga sa kanila. So, ang murmur-muray dapay. Ang tema namin, our theme is lakas or strength in the voice of our spirit. We are heard through our actions, intentions, and unconditional positive regard for others. Mangyeg dati boses ti kararwa tayo kada oras sa makita dadagiti aramid tayo. Ti panagdayaw, our respect, panagdayaw kadagiti daduma. Sa ating mga gawain kung paano tayo gumagalang sa iba, dito nila malalaman ang lakas ng ating fighting spirits as Filipinos. Kapag malakas ang kalooban, malakas din ang isip at katawan. Strength inside bears strength in mind and body as well. So please, grab a snack, something to drink, itaas ang paa, it's good for your circulation. Ingatan yung dagitisa kayo, just relax and join the conversation on Messenger. Or you can also call 808-369-5380 to share your comments or ask questions. And that's the same number, 808-369-5380, that you will call when you are ready to answer our questions to get yourself a $50 gas gift card. I want to acknowledge the team behind this broadcast. Of course, you already met Sir Larry Ordonez, co-hosting on the entertainment part. Loreto Coloma, our communications and project specialist. He is in charge of our Q&A, mamaya, and a chance for you to win one of our gas cards. This broadcast won't go smoothly without our energetic team. Our project manager, Rochelle Patage, Natalie Kamada, our outreach coordinator for Oahu, Angelica Blue, in charge of our social media, and of course, Ms. Millie Asuncion, who will answer our phones for us. Agnes Molate, our co-chair, will also join us later. Right now, she's behind the Zoom scene guiding our guests. So she's really working hard behind the scenes this time. So let's start our program. To start us off is a most important message from our fearless leader. As in, talagang fearless kasi isang tingin, isang salita, gawa na ang lahat. May salanga kita, may saasarita, and the project will be well on its way. She is respected in the world of academe, politics, and has dedicated her life to social justice and diversity. Appointed siya ni President Biden na commissioner bilang advisor ng presidente tungkol sa mga Asian Americans, Native Hawaiians, and Pacific Islanders. Tita Amy, a privilege for us to have you to start our broadcast today. Please welcome Dr. Amy Agbayani, co-founder of Filcom Cares.
Aloha, everybody. Thank you, Clem, for your kind introduction and also for all the good work we've been doing together. Although our listeners are from many, many places, I'm talking to you from Hawaii, and this weekend is actually Memorial Weekend for the state of Hawaii and other states in the United States. Memorial Day celebration is important for us to think about our history, as particularly about those people who have died while serving in the U.S. military service. And also it's important for us to just appreciate those people who, men and women, who wear our flag, both Filipino and American. And so it is an important day, and I just thought I would give a shout out and recognize Filipino-American World War II veteran who has passed away. His name is Domingo Los Baños, and he just has been a mentor and a inspiration to many of us, and actually is a mentor to a number of people here with Filcom Cares, Millie Asuncion, Leon Florendo, and others. So I think I wanted to use my time to just talk about how wonderful members of our community have been and how important they have been to the history of Hawaii and the U.S. and the Philippines. And so for the next, let me just say that Domingo Los Baños passed away just a couple of years ago. He was only 19, he's Hawaii born, he was only 19 when he was in the Philippines, and fighting with Filipino guerrilla alongside Filipino guerrillas, and as well as other U.S. military servicemen. And when he came back to Hawaii, he promised himself if he was still alive, he wanted to become a teacher. And so when he did come back to Hawaii, he became a teacher and had a wonderful career as a teacher, principal, and high administrator in the Department of Education. And it's important to note that very few Filipinos were teachers, and even fewer were able to be promoted and serve in leadership positions. Before he retired, he actually reached out to the Filipino youth because he wanted to get them involved in the celebration of the anniversary of Filipinos coming to Hawaii. And he and the other young people ended up starting a group called Sarili Gawa, meaning our own work. And it's been an excellent group doing a lot of identity, culture, need for education, and also beginning their work in community service. So I just wanted to say that our Radiothon today is connected to all the other, to some important individuals and activities that we've done in the Filipino community here in Hawaii, and it builds on that. And so I just would like to end by saying mahalo for inviting me to share some thoughts about what we're celebrating here in America for this weekend, the Memorial Day weekend. And again, thank you to our team.
Tita Amy really covered a lot
you.
of Tita Amy really covered a lot of things that are going to be heard here. You mentioned Sariling Gawa, and we do have Leon Florendo here. And of course, the memories of Domingo Los Baños is alive and well in the minds of our youth, not just in the Filipino youth, but all the friends of those Filipinos who are with Sariling Gawa also. Salamat, Tita Amy. And of course, I wanted to say that every time I see her, may bago siyang award. And so her latest is given by the legal clinic in Hawaii, and they honored her as the 2023 Guardian of Immigrant Justice. Congratulations ulit at maraming salamat, Amy Agbayani, Tita Amy, Manang Amy, Professor Amy Agbayani. Salamat. Thank you for the time. If you notice, nasa kotse siya. She's in her car because she is always on the go. I don't know how this woman do it, but yes. At maraming mga nakikinig at sumusunod sa kanya. Thank goodness we are a part of her. And syempre, Filcom Cares is on her good side, o diba? Okay, pupunta tayo ngayon sa isla ng Maui because that is where our project manager is at. Sumali si Rochelle Patage sa Filcom Cares as a marketing specialist and has since become heavily invested in improving health equity para magkaroon ng pagkakataon na makamit ang pinakamataas na baitang ng kalusugan ng mga Filipino through the growth of Filcom Cares. Hello, Rochelle. Are you already on? Baka naman kumakain ka pa dyan sa Barrio Fiesta. Balikan mo na kami. Nandito kami waiting for you. Rochelle is in Maui. Barrio Fiesta sila ngayon. Aba, naka-shades pa si Madam. Hello, Rochelle. Kumusta ang Maui?
Yes, it's a sunny and nice day. You can see here. It's so nice. I'm actually surprised that it's not beaming hot today and it's very cool weather here. I was even expecting to use my umbrella today. But so I'm here. My name is from the
Oh, Rochelle, I think there's something wrong with the audio for now. So we will keep the spotlight on you and continue to watch you, and hopefully you'll come back and be able to listen to you. By the way, naka-Filipiniana po ang Madam Rochelle. Beautiful dress. Yeah, so we are cut off at the moment. Hopefully she'll be right back. We can hear you, but your video is gone. It's okay. This is live broadcast. Come back in again. Or we can come back to you after. Okay, so marami kasing mga projects si Rochelle. In fact, please forgive me. I forgot to turn in my my report to you. It was due on the 25th. Ayan, recorded na. Nagpaalam na sa'yo na malilate ang aking report to you. Okay, so I believe we will need to move on for now, but we would like to come back to Rochelle because we will also have an update coming from her from Barrio Fiesta, and of course they have our outreach coordinators there, and of Natalie Kamada is there, and Nikki will be there also. She is our outreach coordinator for the island of Maui. So we are going to move on to our next more important people coming in. Amuyo kadi, tikadakila na Filipino Community Center iti Estados Unidos and out Unidos. I gotta say it correctly. Estados Unidos. And outside of the Philippines is the Filcom Center in Waipahu, Hawaii. Amuyo met nga adda na ala ti Filcom Care sa federal grant through Hawaii Public Health Institute ken ti Filcom Center is the administrador iti daytoy a grant. Here to talk to us about this relationship and other activities happening at the Filcom Center is the Events and Program Director, Shelly Carmona. Kablawan da ka, Shelly. Welcome and thank you for joining us. And I know there are so many events happening at the center, so your time is very important, and we are happy to have you. Please welcome Shelly Carmona.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that beautiful introduction. I want to, real quick, I know we all have our time, but say how happy we are to be working alongside everyone here that's here today, and also how happy we are with all of the progress that Filcom Cares has done for the Filipino community, and for even people who are not Filipino that regularly come to our center or that have access to our center and living in this community in Waipahu. So we are so happy to see, people coming in and asking questions and getting their boosters and getting their vaccines. So we are so grateful to High Five that we're able to have that grant and make that possible for everybody. Also, Filcom Cares helps us fulfill our mission. As the Filipino Community Center, we do have a mission to support one another in the Filipino community and lift each other up and educate and talk about our culture and how just medical, health is very important, and one of the things that we want to bring to everybody this year is, how do we make Filipino food healthier? We're going to bring in that education. We've all talked about mental health a little bit, so we do want to do we don't want to call it art therapy because we want people to feel comfortable. So an art expression, we want to bring music expression and kind of hit all of the different things that would interest people. So Filcom Cares is a huge asset to help us get there and to fulfill that mission. We do have other programming that also helps us fulfill our mission as the Filipino Community Center. This year, anybody who's on the island on Oahu, on June 11th, we will be having a interactive storytelling of the journey of independence. In the past, we've done slightly different things to celebrate and honor Independence Day, but this year we've decided to do something that's open to children and open to families. We all know that it takes a village to raise a child, so we want people to see us as their village. We want to help educate them and tell that story of independence because, parents, they work hard and you don't always have that time to sit down and talk about history and talk about culture. So our goal is to bring people here and be that village, be that support to help educate these children. So we've got a lot of great things happening this year. So June 11th is the key date. Look on our website to see any other events coming up. We also will be doing like an art paint night. It's going to be Filipino inspired, so keep it on theme. So that'll be great. But again, I want to thank everybody that's here. Everybody has played a huge role in what Filcom Cares has accomplished. It's not just one person, it's everyone working together for a common goal. And we would not be able to do any of that without everyone that's present today. So thank you so much. And yeah, visit our website for any updates. And we are so happy to be a part of this. Thank you so much.
Shelly, maraming salamat. I love that background. We call it banting. I believe in Ilocano.
Yes.
That's the sign that there's going to be a fiesta in this area.
Yes, we did just have our fiesta on May 6th. Very, very successful. So I'm still in fiesta mode. Had to have our banderitas up, you know.
Banderitas, that's what it is called. Salamat, Shelly.
Yeah.
And thank you also for sharing that news about June 11, Journey of Independence. And it's put together, you said, by children or the people who are involved?
So it's actually a community effort. So Nisa Rizal are going to be involved. Waipahu High School students are involved. Several Filipino organizations are involved. But our goal is to educate the youth, educate children and families. That is our goal. So that's who we are kind of targeting, is that demographic.
And this is also why we are so happy to be, working with Filcom Center. Maraming salamat again for your time, Shelly. I'm sure we will get a hold of you again. July 1 is coming up. So
I will be around. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you. We appreciate you. Thank you. Events and Program Director of Filcom Center. Salamat, Shelly Carmona. Before we go on our music break, I want to see if we could get a hold of our project coordinator, Rochelle, if she is on. But we do want to emphasize that we have a lot of good information for you today. And coming up soon, in a few moments, is our entertainment break, because we need that in our lives. Kailangan natin talaga ng music palagi. So that's when we will bring in our Sir Larry here. I also want to tell you that Loretto will be coming in soon after the entertainment, kasi we are giving away $50 gas gift cards. I know, isang tangke lang para sa atin yan. Isang tangke, pero maraming matutulungan ang $50 gas gift card na galing dito. Salamat sa Filcom Cares. At salamat kay Agnes Malate, Richelle Patage, who are constantly looking for these types of good prices for you from the community or from many of our connections. Okay, so marami pa tayong kailangan gawin, kaya we will now go straight to Sir Larry Ordonez for our first music break.
All right, maraming salamat. Thank you very much, Clemen. We are excited today because we do have lots of virtual guests of Filcom Cares from the entertainment world around the world. And of course, music brings us back home. Do you agree with me? Music brings us back home. Yep.
Yes.
Somebody's saying something in the background. Yes, I can hear you. Thank you very much. And so here's what I would like to do. There they are. We have our virtual guests of entertainers from around the world. And first to entertain us are husband and wife. They are Ernesto and Lita Quilban. They're veterans when it comes to entertainment. They began their relationship as musicians and entertainers, then eventually became a couple. They continued their love for music in the United States, and now, thanks to our present technology, they can share their love for music to the world. Ernesto found his gift
at the age of 5 when he got his first guitar. At the age of 17 in his native Philippines, he won first place in a nationwide talent search for stringed instrument musicians. He studied music at the Asian Institute of Liturgical Music of the University of the Philippines and majoring in guitar and piano. In the United States, I just want to make sure you can see the picture of Lita and Ernesto. In the United States, he continued his classical guitar training under the world-renowned classical guitarist Hector Garcia, assistant to legend guitarist Emilio Pujol of Spain. From Solano, Nueva Vizcaya, now in Vancouver, Washington, we'd like to welcome into our program Ernesto and Lita.
Mainaklay labi, oras lay maraan, mapapalagagan, katekep tulinaan. Samigay tugig ko, binangon ang kong kampong, labot sa linggas mo, sikan-sikat ay mamagay. Lalo lalingay, musika ay narayan, mabuna sa langit, sormen niya at bibigyan. Nunanunutan, kulay sa migdayo kami, at pagkanaliwanan, hanggat kawis lang inay. Tirabi oras na ulimek. Ayupo'y dirangin, dinuyugan tinaaw. Sa mitay tuwid ko, ninangun at nadagos. Gapit-gapitas mo, siksikan at ayapin. Lalo na biyak ko, musika na'y makita. Mapunas di amin, nalagsan nga ang awipin. Numalagin ko, ay di samit tayo galing. Di kan tumalipatan, aging ka na tumpaltanin. Lalo na biyak ko, musika na'y makita. Mapunas di amin, nalagsan nga ang awipin. Lumalabig ko, di sakit tayo galing. Di kang tumalipatan, aging ka na tumpaltanin. Malinap lay labi, oras lay maraan. Mapapalagagan, kaligag tulinaan.
Ernesto and Lita Quilban, originally from Solano, Nueva Vizcaya, now over in Vancouver, Washington. Now, do you believe what I said earlier, Clem, that music brings us back home? Hello.
I was talking and I was muted.
Oh, ganon ba? That's why I couldn't hear you.
We're still getting used to this live thing.
Well,
Hindi ba- pero
this is amazing technology because I don't know, where are you? I am in Mililani. Where are you?
nasa Kapahulu side ako.
Kapahulu. So that's about, what, 12, 14 miles away from each other? And then, of course, the person who's doing the switching, Loreto, is somewhere in
between both of us.
in between both of us. So, everybody, we are doing this a virtual radiothon remotely from one another. And, of course, our singers, Ernesto and Lita, are over in Washington. That is amazing. Did you like the Barong and the Maria Clara?
I love the look of. They're a couple, you said. So.
Yes,
Yeah.
University of the Philippines. Amazing.
Thanks to their the intelligence of Filipinos in music, walang kaparis ang mga Pilipino talaga. So we are back on my end here. I believe we can bring back Loreto. Come in, Loreto, because we want to bring in our project person, our head of the projects. Mali yata yun. Si Richelle Patage, project manager of Filcom Cares. I know she was having a few. Yeah, there she is. I will stop talking and give it to her right now. Go ahead, Richelle.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So today we're at the Barrio Fiesta on Maui and providing resources for the community in blood pressure, vaccine, flu, and also some freebies here. I saw some really good resources. In fact, I'm standing right in front of the lechon. So I can smell the lechon while I'm speaking to you. It's a distraction for me. Well, I wanted to also let the community know that it's really amazing when we're all together because today, even though we're coming from Oahu, we see a lot of familiar faces and they're like, hey, well, I know Filcom Cares, and that's really great because now we're growing our community, and this radiothon today is about getting strength in our voice and our mind. And we do that with community because sometimes you cannot do that alone. And the best thing to do to get strength is when we rely on others. And that's what Filcom Cares is great at, is that their mission is to collaborate to the community and strengthen the Filipino community through those collaborations. And today, I just saw a few possible people who could be hosting workshops to the Filipino community. And so, today is a great resource, and I encourage you guys to come down here today.
Ano pa ang pagkain dyan, Richelle? What else are we having there aside from the lechon?
Oh, just disregard what I just said, right? And just want to eat.
Alam natin importante.
Also, I cannot ignore the lechon, the whole lechon here. But we also have cascaron and I don't know what this is, but it's dindaraan.
Dinadaraan. Dinuguan in Tagalog.
Oh, okay. I know it for the Tagalog name. So there is that today, and I saw pancit. A lot of food here are made fresh on the spot, on site. So it's gonna be great because you can smell it.
Rochelle, I was commenting on how beautiful your damit is. Your terna is beautiful. So thank you for being in the fashion with Barrio Fiesta. And of course, Rochelle does not speak Tagalog or Ilocano, but I believe she knows a little Visayan, right? In your family. But
listen,
we're often testing her with this. Pero we will come back to you later. You and Natalie and Angelica are all three of you in Maui. So we will come back to you in a few minutes just to keep us updated and watch you eat the crunchy chicharon. But to be on the side of work, Rochelle has been working really hard for all of us, from each and every one of us who are working for Filcom Cares, even the volunteers. She takes really good care of all of us, and a really good reminder for, hey, this is due, or hey, you didn't do this. Or can you please make this better? And so maraming salamat for all of your efforts and all the hard work, and even volunteering to travel for us to the different islands just to spread our news and provide for the neighboring islands' needs as well to all of our outreach coordinators in our neighboring islands. So we'll get back to you, Rochelle. Maraming salamat. And now I'm going to bring in Loretto, because Loretto is giving away those gift cards. Loretto, nasaan ka? First question. We'll tell them first how they will win and what this is all about. Salamat, Loretto.
Absolutely. So we have about 4 or 5 questions today related questions to our radiothon. So if you're listening closely, you will catch a lot of the answers. And call in with your answer or text it to 36808. 369-5380, and you'll have a chance to win a $50 gas gift card. And so, without further ado, let me share with you folks the first question here. So first up, question 1, from June 1st to November 30. This weather season begins. We encourage everyone to take time to prepare by keeping informed, making sure you have a family plan and an updated emergency kit. Hint, hint, emergency kit. So what season is this? And I'll bring back Manang Clem to translate some of this too.
I am a Manang Clem, and I'm also an Ate Clem when I talk in Tagalog. So the question is, anya apanawen ti agrugi iti umunanga aldaw iti Hunyo, agingana November 30. Bagbagaan da tayo iti gobyerno agsagana para iti daytoy apanawen, tapno adda plano ti pamilya para iti emergency. Anya na panawen daytoy. So anya weather daytoy. Awagan nyo ti numero mi 808-369-5380, and Ms. Millie is on the line waiting for your answer. The first one, di umuna nga makasungbat ti husto, will get the $50 gas gift card. Loretto, anything else?
Nothing else, but we'll have the answers coming up right after this next segment. So stay tuned, folks, and continue to win these gas gift cards with us today.
Like I said, they're very handy, those $50 gift cards. Although we're not, I don't know, or I'm not sure what gas station, but any gas station will do for your gas. So, okay, moving on to our next segment. I think we are doing good on time. We have the Hawaii Public Health Institute. Ang Hi-Fi ang kaunahan at sila lang ang Public Health Institute na nagsisilbi dito sa Hawaii. Hi-Fi has received the federal grant that funds about 11 or so community-based organizations dito sa Hawaii, at isa na kami, Filcom Cares, ang na pinamamahalaan nila. Isuda ti imuna ken maysa a Public Health Institute nga agserserbi ditoy Hawaii. Isuda ti agigigem ti federal grant nga naalami met kadwami ti 11 other community-based organizations ditoy Hawaii. I will introduce them all right now so they can have a continuous sharing. So we have on the line Cyril Labasan. She is the Program Manager, COVID-19 Projects Liaison for Hi-Fi. She will cover continuing relationships with Hi-Fi and Filcom Cares, and of course, upcoming projects. Sumaruno ni Justina Clanton, COVID-19 vaccinations outreach coordinator. And she has the most important part to deliver to you the news about after the public health emergency and where to get those kits, what's important about our vaccinations, and all those other things. I believe we also have Makame Namahoe, Public Health Program Associate here in Oahu. She's in charge of the CDC grant. And in fact, Maka and I were on a CDC public service announcement that they will be bringing out soon. So stay tuned for our participation in that video or public service announcement. And syempre, their anchor there is Dr. May Rose de la Cruz, Director of Health Equity and Research. She is also, like we mentioned earlier, the co-founder of Filcom Cares with Amy Aguayani and Agnes Molate. May Rose is very instrumental in writing the initial grants for Filcom Cares. Please welcome the Hi-Fi team, Cyrell, Justina, Maka, and May Rose. Go ahead, Cyrell.
Hi, Clem. Can you hear me?
Yes, very clear. Go ahead.
Unfortunately, we don't have Maka on the call today.
Okay.
Thanks for talking about the CDC Foundation video. We will be sure to share that with Filcom Cares since you folks were such an instrumental partner with that grant. But anyway, so hi everyone. Thank you again, Clem, and the team from Filcom Cares for inviting us on your radio show. And again, giving us the opportunity to give updates on Filcom Cares and our ongoing partnership with Hawaii Public Health Institute, or Hi-Fi for short. So I'll just get started on some background information for any new listeners on the show. So the Hawaii Public Health Institute, as Clem said, we did receive funding, federal funding from the Hawaii State Department of Health March of last year, primarily to engage and support community-based organizations, or CBOs for short, on their COVID-19 outreach activities and education. And Filcom Cares is one of those CBOs that were awarded, and it's specifically to conduct outreach to the Filipino community. And so many of your listeners and your community members are probably already well aware of how FCC has been so effective in organizing these events and attending events like the Barrio Fest to provide education and resources on COVID-19 and also other health topics. And they've been doing that for well over a year now with support from the CBO grant. On our side at Hi-Fi, we basically make sure that all the CBOs that have been awarded are compensated for the work that they do. And we provide updates, resources like COVID-19 tests and translated materials. We also have a program called Keiki Heroes that provide educational materials that are Keiki friendly, like coloring books and stickers, anything to engage the Keiki in healthcare conversations, basically. We also offer technical assistance and just make sure that the CBOs are able to continue their work without too much stress on their hands. So right now we do meet once a month with the CBOs, and during our call, we also receive updates from them on their current activities and what they have planned in the future. On the other side of that, we do meet with Department of Health, also to talk about how the grant is going, but most importantly, to strategize and to just to continue conversations on how we can further provide our support to the CBOs. And unfortunately, though, the CBO grant is coming to an end, and we are expecting it to end this November. But we really want to be able to continue the partnerships that it provided. So we're actively looking into ways to engage Filcom Cares and all the other CBOs and federally qualified health centers who do such important work. As a CBO ourselves, we recognize that CBOs are a really important part of our overall health and a very important part of our healthcare system overall, because they're in a really special place where I think they are coming from and are representative of their communities. So they know best what services are needed, how best to deliver those services, and they can also give these services much quicker than the traditional healthcare settings. So we're really hoping to continue that momentum into other topics like Medicaid redetermination, for example. I'm not sure how much information I can give on this yet, and I do believe we have one of our partners later on in the Radiothon who will give more information on that and to talk more about that. But we're really excited on this new project with Filcom Cares and other CBOs again, and really excited on that effort and just to see what other opportunities we can work with in the future.
Cyril, maraming salamat, and we are always looking forward to information coming from Hi-Fi and you leading most of the projects that are also there. So Cyril actually is well, she understands a little bit Ilocano, so we keep encouraging her to pursue that part of of her linguistic ability. So maraming salamat. Agyaman akunay, Cyril, and yes, please keep us in mind, Filcom Cares, for the next projects. Even though our funding might be ending, we're hoping that this connection will remain intact and work more. So we're going to bring in Justina Clanton. Thank you. Go ahead, Justina.
Hi, thank you, Clemen. So today I just wanted to share with you all some updates and news on matters relating to COVID-19, such as vaccinations, boosters, testing, and treatment. So firstly, as you might know, the Biden administration ended the National Public Health Emergency Declaration related to COVID-19 on May 11th. And there might be some questions about how this will affect access to COVID resources in the US moving forward. So I'm just going to give some general information about that. For vaccines and boosters, nothing will change. They will remain free as long as the federal supply lasts. After it runs out, vaccines will still be accessible to those with public or private insurance. However, uninsured or underinsured people may have to pay in the future. For COVID treatments, out-of-pocket costs will depend on your healthcare coverage. Medicaid will continue to cover COVID treatment until at least September 30th, 2024. For at-home test kits, those may become more expensive. Those with Medicare will no longer receive free tests. Under Medicaid, tests will continue to be free until at least September 2024. There may also be some tests available for free by the United States Postal Service, USPS, but that will depend on the federal supply and individual eligibility. So you can visit the website special.usps.com/test kits to see if you qualify and order kits if you qualify. You can also get some free test kits if you go to an event that Rochelle and Filcom Cares is at.
Yes.
She does great work getting those out to the community. Access to PCR tests are also going to depend on your insurance. But if you are uninsured or underinsured, those may no longer be covered. Those with Medicaid will have access to free testing until at least September 2024. There has also been some news about COVID vaccinations and boosters from the CDC. Everyone aged 6 years and older should get one updated Pfizer or Moderna COVID-19 vaccine to be considered up to date. And this is regardless of whether they've received any COVID-19 vaccine prior. You don't need to have gotten any COVID-19 vaccine before this. If you get a new dose, you are up to date. And also, people aged 65 and older may get a second dose of either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccine. And so if you have any questions about if your insurance covers or deciding to get another dose of the vaccine, you should reach out to your provider or your doctor.
Maraming salamat, Justina. And basically, parang ang main date that we all have to remember is September 2024. Parang importanteng petsa ito para sa ating lahat dahil ang mga insurance natin ay free hanggang sa araw na yon. Pero katulad ng sinabi ni Justina, you have to call or ask your providers or even your insurance kung pwede pa kayong magpabakuna at oras na para magpabakuna. And Justina says 6 and above pwede nang magpabakuna, 6 years old and above. 6 months ba, Justina? 6 months or 6 years old?
6 years.
6 years. Masyado pang bata ang 6 months, manang Clem, ganun. So 6 years old ang pwede and above. So pag matanda na kayo, we encourage, and of course, matanda is relative. kung matanda for you are 50, pues, pwede na rin. Pero please, and I believe it's pagkatapos ng 4 months ng kahuliang vaccination. Your last vaccination should be at least 4 months have passed before you can get it. Para talagang naglaline na pang mga tao ngayon na magpabakuna because mauubusan na sila ng bakuna ng federal government. Pag ubos na ito, baka hindi na libre. Yan ang mga sinabi ni Justina. And Justina, thank you so much. She is our main contact. If we want more test kits, we call on Justina and she provides for us. And we really want to push those test kits out because malapit na ang expiration date ng most of it. However, ang nakalagay na expiration date sa box ay extended pa rin. Justina, please remind us how long is the extended time for the vaccines?
For the vaccines or the test kits?
Sorry, the test kits, sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
so this is complicated. It depends on which brand of test kit you have. But there is a website on the FDA webpage. And so you might have to do a little Googling, but you can find a long list on the FDA webpage and find the brand of test kit that you have, and if it's been extended, it will tell you how long it's been extended for.
Will do. Maraming salamat, Justina. I will connect with you on that because I too would like to know if my test kits at home are all, that if I can still use them. Salamat, Justina. And now we're going to bring in our dear Dr. Mayros de la Cruz, Director of Health, Equity, and Research at Hi-Fi, also our co-founder for Filcom Cares. Boss, go ahead.
Boss. Ikaw ang boss, Clem. Salamat, Clem, for having me here today. Also, hello to Manong Larry and Filcom Cares. I love seeing the team again, and I appreciate my fellow Filipinas over at Hi-Fi, Cyril and Justina, for being here. Yes, I wanted to reiterate, it's really important to really get your COVID tests and do your vaccine. But I wanted to also share a little bit about Hi-Fi, about the other things we do. So in order for us to be lakas, you have to, we also talk about prevention. And my nanay always said, alagaan mo yung kapatid mo. It's the same thing, alagaan mo yourself and your family. So really think about how do you keep yourself lakas, right? So we talk about prevention, and in Hi-Fi, we do have a lot of coalitions, and we talk about oral health. So, brushing your teeth, how do you stay healthy, brushing your teeth, because that prevents heart disease. We do have Kapuna Collective that also works with our nanas and tatas, lolos and lolas, to stay healthy, have resources. We have resources if they need help with insurance, if they need help with food. So we do have food distribution on www.hiphi.org on all these things. We do talk about tobacco and vaping. Filipinos our youth used to be number one in vaping. Number one. We were one of the worst in the country in vaping. So as part of being lakas, we have to talk to our children about not vaping, because if you want to prevent cancer, we shouldn't smoke or vape. So to help our children, help us take care of us when we're nanas and tatas, and also take care of themselves to stop vaping. So we do have resources for our parents to talk to their children, but also resources for our youth. We do have a lot of volunteer work. If the youth want to participate in that, we do talk about policy. They want to get into government, want to be lawyers. We do talk about policy, how they can stay active. And in that, meeting our lawmakers, that's really important. And then we also do talk about a lot about workforce development. If you want to be community health workers. If you want to be public health advocates, we do have a lot of opportunities in Hi-Fi. We'd be happy to talk to you about research. If you're interested in being a scientist and go into public health, we do have that. But I think what I also want to talk about is I was at a Cancer Coalition meeting yesterday, kahapon, and we do talk a lot about those who need more help in cancer screening. So Filipinos were next to Native Hawaiians in breast cancer, colorectal cancer, and lung cancer, and that's part of alagaan, right? We do have to take care of ourselves so we don't get these cancers, and part of that is watching what we eat. You know, I know we love our adobo with the taba. So, you know, it's good to have some taba.
Best with
not
the
a lot.
kanin.
Yeah. Oh, yes. But a little bit, you know, but also offset that with some malunggay, munggo, you know, eat what we eat at home. You know, we had sayote. I love giving out sayote. We had paria. Eat that. I mean, sometimes Filipinos don't know what to do with cauliflower, you know, or broccoli. So eat what we ate back home, the malunggay, and then we have the fruit, the bayabas. Those are healthy for us. Sometimes when we stray from our homeland's food, we get a little unhealthy, like the McDonald's, you know? So just grow what you eat and eat what you grow. That's what we try to promote everywhere so that we don't get cancer. We don't want to see our nanas and tatas and ourselves go in for, you know, colon cancer treatment. And another part of that is getting screened. You got to take your colonoscopy. I helped my tata go through that. They did the testing, and he said it's bad. I went through a colonoscopy too, but we found out it was, you know, we were healthy, and they, you know, if there were polyps, they take it out. So all things like that, cancer screening is really important. You know, we don't want to get breast cancer, so make sure you touch your. But do you say this? I was gonna say tatas, but what is breast, Clem?
Dede or suso.
Dede or tutoy, yeah. I mean,
tutoy in a different language. Oh.
Tutoy in a different language. Okay, so
barokong.
Barokong. Yeah.
Barokong in Ilocano. Barokong.
Yes. So, I mean, you do that in the shower. You scrub, right? Make sure you touch. And even the males can have breast cancer. So we really want to make and promote screening because that's prevention. You want to catch it early. By the time you have cancer, you know, you have to go through treatment, and just go through treatment, help each other out and say, can I go with you with a cancer treatment? Can I drop you off? Can I make some sayote and, or tortang talong for you, you know, stuff like that. But we have to watch each other out. It's alagaan. It's part of that. It's part of who we are as Filipinos. So I think that's what we just have to remember to stay lakas. We have to take care of each other and take care of ourselves. That's all I have on my soapbox. But it's always great to see you all. Thank you so much for having us. Please stay healthy. And please contact us. Contact me over at Hi-Fi if you have any questions regarding how about public health or anything COVID related or research, Filipino research related.
I really like what you said about grow what you eat and eat what you grow. Magtanim ng inyong kakainin at kainin ng inyong mga tanim. And you know, if you go around the Filipino areas in Hawaii, you know who are Filipino because awan dagiti sabong da. They have no flowers, some will do, but they have a lot of these food that you can eat. They grow kamote, sayote, like you said. And so once in a while, I get the sayotes from her yard. May Rose has a flourishing sayote plant. And of course, we always talk about this and we joke about it that every time you see a marunggay or a malunggay tree, you know it's a Filipino flag. Yes, it is. And we love it because pwede nating iluto sa kahit anong gulay o kahit na malunggay lang with ginger and mushrooms. Oh my God, you boil that? Masarap yan. Parang gamot pero but very masustansya na nga, masarap pa. Ang hirap lang sa atin ay kailangan kainin with rice. So, okay, I'm guilty of that, but it does make it taste better. And really, ang pagkain ng mga Pilipino, like May Rose said, is most of it is greens. If you go sa probinsya, when I was growing up, mahal ang karne. And so everything is gulay, dinengdeng, or inabrao, kunada. Of course, I'm making myself hungry. Thank you very much, Dr. May Rose de la Cruz, for joining us. We are going to keep in touch with each other because we know we can tap into Hi-Fi for anything and everything on health. And before we go on our music break, I want to go back to Sir Larry because he said suso is breast, is barukong in Ilocano. But I really thought barukong was the chest part. And so suso is different as in the women's breasts.
Well, yes, you're right. Suso is to women. Barukong for men and women. So to generalize,
because I know we all
it,
have breast, like not breast, chest. So I thought chest was barukong.
It is. So to connote both women and men at the same time, to tell them what part of the body it is, then in Iloco, you would say, dahito barukong ko, kit medyo nadagsin, di pa nagriknak.
Ay, apo.
Yeah.
Drama dayta. Nasakit ni barukong ko, which means not physically, but you did something wrong to that person. Nice segue. We're going to go to you now, Sir Larry, for entertainment.
All right.
Thank you, Hi-Fi. Go ahead, Sir Larry.
Thank you very much. To all of you, welcome back. We do have lots of entertainers from around the world. And just to give you an idea who they are, you can see it on our big screen. Today or next, after playing Ernesto and Lita Quilban of Washington State, we have Robelita Bofil, who's next to entertain us. She's a licensed nurse. She's over in Hong Kong, and also to be followed by another entertainer, and her name is Regine Pamulan out of Parañaque, Philippines. They have their greetings and a little introduction of themselves. So let's go ahead and bring them into our program. First, this is Ruby Bofil out of Hong Kong.
Aloha everyone, I'm Ruby Bofil, a caregiver, a smuggler, and the ambassador of Prime Gems by Prime Credit here in Hong Kong. And I'm very honored to be a part of this Radiothon event. Thank you so much, and I would like to share this song to everyone. Hope you like it.
All right, thank you, Ruby. And what we will do right now is share one of Ruby's song. Ruby did not say that she has been winning lots of the online singing competition around the world. So she is very popular in the social media area. So here she is. This is Ruby.
Before the kings and the queens on the throne, we would pop champagne and raise a toast. Straight to the heart, and you're to blame. You give love a brand name and live without me. You wanna, but you can't. Na. Think it's funny, but honey can run this show on your own. A schoolboy's dream, you act so shy. Your very first kiss was your first kiss goodbye. You gotta hold on to what we've got. It doesn't make a difference if we make it or not. And you must think I'm weak without a sword, but if I had one, it'd be good to know. If you were a woman and I was a man, would it be so hard to understand? To all the queens who are fighting alone, baby, you're not dancing on your own. These are baby, it's off in your head. Gonna change it and make it. She brings home forget. chance the king can move us days at a time. But queens are free to go wherever they like. You get too close, you get our royalty high. So breathe it in and feel the love. Not your Barbie girl, I'm living in my own world. I am plastic, call me classic. To all the queens who are fighting along, baby, you're not dancing on your own. Oh, I'm having so much fun.
Well, Barbie, we're just getting started.
Oh, I love you, Ken.
Roby Bofil right here on Filcom Cares Radiothon 7. We'd like to say big mahalo to multi-talented group Deslave out of Makati City for referring us to Roby Bofil. Up next to sing in our program, here's a beautiful young lady. Her name is Regine Pamulan. Let's see if we can see her on screen. She's next to entertain us, and she does have a greeting and introduction of herself. So let's go ahead and listen to her.
Mabuhay Filipino Radio, Honolulu, Hawaii, USA, to Sir Larry Ordonez and to Miss Lourdes Sargon. Thank you so much po for this wonderful opportunity. I'm Regine Pamulan po, Pamparanaque, 36 years old. At panganay po ako sa aming 8 magkakapatid. At kumakanta po ako for almost 18 years na at ito na po yung naging bread and butter ko. Nag-start po akong mag-smule since nag-pandemic po. At until now po, sumasali pa rin ako sa mga county kasi minsan po pag stress dito ko nilalabas yung stress ko. At sa lahat po ng mga kababayan po, hello din po. Once again po, Ma'am Lourdes, thank you so much po. Mag-iingat po palagi at God bless po sa inyong lahat. Sana po magustuhan niyo po itong kantang inaalay ko po sa inyo. Keep safe everyone! Mwah.
All right, so up next to sing in our program, Regine Pamulan out of Paranaque, Philippines. Big mahalo once again to Lourdes Azargon over in Hong Kong for referring us to Regine Pamulan. And here she is. Regine.
Minamastdan kita nang di mo alam. Pinapangarap kong ikaw ay aking mapupulang labi at matingkad mong ngiti. Umaabot hanggang sa langit. Huwag ka lang titingin sa'kin at baka matunaw ang puso kong sabik. Sa iyong ngiti ako'y nahuhumaling at sa tuwing ikaw ay gagalaw ang mundo ko'y tumitigil. Sinisigaw ng puso, sana'y madama mo rin ang lihim ko. Sa iyong ngiti, ako'y nahuhumalik. At sa tuwing ikaw ay gagalaw, ang mundo ko'y tumitigil para lang sa'yo. Ang awit ng aking puso, sana ay mapansin mo rin ang lihim ko. Pagtingin sa iyong ngiti,
Regine Pamulan, right here on Filcom Cares Radiothon number 7. And back to you, Clem.
Bakit ba ang gagaling kumanta ng mga yan at wala ni isang konting tono sa boses para sa akin ang binigay? I think when they were lining up for all of those beautiful voices, I was way in the back.
That's what my wife said the last time too. Somebody text me, barokong braso.
Oh, no, braso kit dito eh. This is braso. That's your
Braso, abaga?
That's your arm.
Okay.
That's your arm.
Get out.
Yeah, I know this because I have the body parts.
You have the
during
body
my class.
parts.
We have body parts.
I'll attend your class.
Amok na kita iti Ilocano and Tagalog, but I still question it no maminsan tasabasabali mo ti aramiden da or paiba-iba sila. Pero yes, but braso is here.
Okay.
Sabali daita. That is your arm.
All right.
But anyway, okay, back to Loreto.
We have a winner.
Our guests are hanging on the sidelines there. Thank you so much for being so early, but go ahead. We have our answer to the first one. Loreto, go ahead. Sino tinangabak? Sino tinangabak?
Yes, and so our winner for our first question, answering this question about what weather season is Danilo Cabe from Honolulu, a dedicated listener of the radio.
We're dedicated.
This is our answer, hurricane season for the answer. So congratulations on your $50 gas gift card, Danilo Cabe from Honolulu. And so jumping into our next question.
Importante to. Everybody listen. This is important.
So on the Filcom Cares website, there are translated green social media posts about getting your second booster. There are a lovely couple that are on the Ilocano and Tagalog translated posts. And they are parents of one of our hosts here today, either our Radiothon host or our entertainment host. And so the answer to this question is a 50-50 of a name here. And it's whose parents are they on that green social media post? So go to our website at filcomcares.org so that you can see the post, or if you've been on our social media and you've seen these translated posts about getting your second booster, you will find out the answer. And so call in with your answer to 808-369-5380. That number again is 808-369-5380 with your answer. And it's a 50-50 chance if you really don't know, either our Radiothon host, Clemen Montero, or our entertainment host, Sir Larry Ordonez.
Sino kaya ang kahawig na nasa litrato? So kapag nasa Filcom Cares website kayo, may makikita kayong post na kulay green, berde, at tungkol sa pagbabakuna ng pangalawang booster. May Tagalog at Ilocano version ng post na ito. Ang tanong, kaninong magulang sila? Tawagan ang numero 808-369-5380. And so we will wait for you. You can call that number. Ms. Millie will answer. Sasagutin kayo ni Ms. Millie at ang unang tamang sagot mananalo ng another $50 gas gift card. Just wanted to remind you, you are listening to Larry Ordonez, KNDI 1270 AM, with myself, Clemen Montero, Loreto Coloma, also with Filcom Cares. Emmy Anderson of Pinoy Power Media, 104.7 FM, 100.3 HD2, KRM Internet Radio, Maui, 97.9 FM. Ray Patao, maraming salamat sa inyo for broadcasting with us. Live broadcast. Moving on. Ay, ang bilis ng oras. Nasa pangalawang oras na tayo. We are now on the second part of our second hour, sorry. So we are going to talk about our partners and our collaborators. An immense part of the favorable outcome of the projects of Filcom Cares is credited to our partnership with the Oahu Filipino Catholic Club, OFCC. And because of this connection, we continue to fulfill our FC Cares mission of growing a stronger and healthier Filipino community. Dr. Clementina Seria Ulep is the Executive Secretary of the Diocesan Congress of Filipino Catholic Clubs. We'll share a message in regards to this partnership. Incidentally, she is also the new head at the School of Nursing at the University of Hawaii at Manoa. Go ahead, Loreto and Sir Larry, please feed the video that she prepared for us.
Good morning. My name is Clementina Seria Ulep, the Diocesan Congress of Filipino Catholic Clubs Executive Secretary. I am sorry that I could not be physically present at the Radiothon today due to a family obligation. I was asked to share my thoughts on the collaboration between the Diocesan Congress of Filipino Catholic Clubs, or DCFCC churches, and Filcom Cares project, and how through this collaboration we have been able to reach out to the Filipino community and protect them from COVID-19, not just in Oahu, but statewide. The Filcom Cares project, in collaboration with the DCFCC, with its island councils, including Hawaii or Big Island, Kauai, Maui, and Oahu, have been able to reach out to the Filipino community, providing contact tracing and vaccination. It started with our Oahu Council of Filipino Catholic Club, or OCFCC churches. I remember our first vaccination event on March 6, 2021. The Most Reverend Clarence, or as we fondly call him, Bishop Larry Silva, was the first to be immunized with the COVID vaccine at the Co-Cathedral St. Teresa by the Kalihi Palama Health Center staff. This was followed by a joint event at Our Lady of the Mount with St. Anthony churches in Kalihi, with vaccination provided by the Project Vision Hawaii staff. The other OCFCC churches soon followed. Our Lady of Perpetual Help in Eva Beach, St. Joseph in Waipahu, Our Lady of Sorrows in Wahiawa, St. Michael in Waialua, St. Roch in Kahuku, and Sacred Hearts in Waianae. Then on to the Maui Council churches such as St. Teresa in Kihei, then to Kauai and Big Island. Here on Oahu, a lot of the vaccination event participants were older adults who were very thankful that they did not have to drive all the way to Neil Blaisdell or Pier 1 and deal with traffic and parking issues, let alone try to schedule it online, which was very challenging. At the vaccination events, or rather all the vaccination events, were coordinated by the competent and efficient Filcom Care staff. The most important aspect of this outreach, in my mind, was making vaccination available to the hard-to-reach community, such as our Filipino community, but also vulnerable populations, our kupunas with mobility and transportation barriers. Providing contact tracing and vaccination at their churches that is familiar and safe to them was so needed. This was so important at the time as safety was crucial to the well-being of our most vulnerable, our elders or kupunas. Further, vaccination at the churches made vaccination available to our clergy or priests who were not at first considered essential staff, though they were interacting with their church members daily. In closing, on behalf of all the Diocesan Congress of Filipino Catholic Club churches, I want to thank the Filcom Cares project staff, for all that they have done to protect the Filipino community during a very unsettling time in our state and country's history. Thank you, mabuhay, and mahalo.
Maraming salamat for that wonderful message, that it really captured all the events, all the things that we have been doing with the Filipino Catholic churches. And it's always fun to go there because all the volunteers of their churches are always coming out, and they also bring us food. Di ba, we are always centered around pagkain, around this food. And so, oh, by the way, I keep getting messages that we are cutting out or in and out, but we just want to say that you have to refresh your page if you are on Facebook. I think you just need to refresh your page, or even if you're watching on Messenger. Of course, I tell this because my mother keeps texting me, Clemen, you are off, bakit wala kayo, you are not on. But I believe there's other people texting me as well that they are not connecting. So I think you just need to refresh your page. Okay, we'll move on to our next guest. I wanted to tell you about SG, very popular. If you say SG, they know what it is, lalong-lalo na sa university life. Ang Sariling Gawa, SG, Sariling Gawa, our own work. Ang Sariling Gawa ay isang organisasyon dito sa Hawaii na nagpapaunlad ng kamalayan tungkol sa kultura ng Filipino, ang magkaroon ng pagpapahalaga sa ating lahi. Sariling Gawa is an organization here in Hawaii that fosters cultural awareness, nurtures ethnic pride, and empowers youth to develop leadership skills. Filcom Care supports this organization because they give importance to our youth. Ang ating panauhin ay miyembro ng SG mula noong spring 1989. Siya ngayon ang presidente. He is also an associate professor, a counselor at Leeward Community College, Waianae Moku Education Center. Gusto rin niyang sabihin na he is happily married with Kai, Heather, and blessed with Kambal, or he has twin girls, Layala and Lilian. I hope I pronounced it correctly. Layala and Lilian, and their son Levi. And so we really want to thank him today, actually, kasi he is actually out there in the field watching his son play his game. And I also think nabayag ko nga amo ni Leon yung malagip no anya project, since we have been working indirectly or directly together on many projects in the university system. Welcome, Leon Florendo, speaking for Sariling Gawa. Kumusta ka?
Kumusta ka, Tay? Welcome. Thank you again, Clem, for all the work that you do, and Filcom Care and this Radiothon 7. Yes, I'm in the car, and SF you've been seeing on my shirt is not for San Francisco, but for Filipino Samoan. I am, so for those of you who have not seen me before, I am Filipino Samoan. My dad is from Vigani, Ilocosur. He was a Sakara. I've been blessed to lead this organization, Sariling Gawa, the last number of years. I've been associated with this organization for when I transferred from Leeward in '89, and been blessed and learned so much. And we still continue that fight, and that to educate and encourage and give our youth hope, and answer void questions, like the work that the Filipino Curriculum Committee program is working on, in trying to get more Filipino curriculum in the education system, the public school as well as private. But there's so much work to be done, and everyone does their part. And I think together, collaboratively, we're making strides. We're seeing the needle move. And part of that is coming out of the pandemic. It was really big. A lot of people would ask us, so what's happening with Sariling Gawa? Because a lot of organizations, a lot of places were closing. So a lot of people were very concerned, would the organization be able to, pull through? And I think it goes in line with the theme, right? That whole strengthening body, mind, spirit, and also the strength of our ancestors, our strength of our founders, Domingo Los Baños, the leadership of Amy Agbayani, people like Lito and Ernie, and those who have come before and laid the pathway, and those leaders that are still with us, the Millie Asuncion, the Willie Domingo, that are there and providing support. So it's through those support that we're able to persist and persevere. Yeah. So coming out of the pandemic, last year, 22, we partnered with the Filipino JCs, and we hosted the first annual Filipino Cultural Summit at Leeward in partnership with the Pamantasan Council there. And we had we were well received. A lot of people, felt good about, but it all stemmed, Clem, it's that issue of identity and belonging and being valued, right? And how do we push through? So through the summit, it came out of our young people wanted to learn more about their cultural heritage. They want to learn about their cultural history beyond the Sakaras, right? So you heard about the 1st and 2nd Filipino Regiment. You heard about the Hanapepe Massacre. They learned about Pablo Malapit. They got to learn about the Ilocano language and the Tagalog language. So it's more, they want more. And there's not a whole lot of venue that does that. Yeah. So we're able to give them that. And then that's where SG first had that conversation with Filcom Care, right? And then as a result of that conversation, meeting, Rachel folks for the first time in person, they said, how can we do more stuff together, right? Mm-hmm. And then as a result, we say, we want to do our conference. We do a yearly conference, and we haven't done for the past 3 years. But this past March 17th, with the help of Filcom Care and their partnership, we were able to collaborate and host our first return from COVID SG one-day conference at Leeward Community College, where we, got our roots with Ernie Libarios, the counselor out at Leeward. So we went back to our beginnings, right? A simple one-day conference. Got to feel that SG magic. The young kids were very vibrant and very excited, to a point where after the conference, they're asking us, let's meet again in the summer. We want more, right? What about Filipino History Month in October? Are we going to be doing something? And they're hungry. I tell you, Clem, our young people are hungry. And Leeward Community College, with the partnership, we just started our Filipino Studies Academic Subject Certificate. So, we're rolling that out. Our early college students are now able to take those courses through Leeward as part of their electives for their DOE dual credit enrollment.
Oh, that's good.
There's a lot of stuff going on. I'm very excited, and I'm excited to partner up with Filcom Care. And then, we just finished Hilo, right? With Millie folks, went out to Hilo, did a mini workshop. They got to learn Eskrima. They got information about COVID and what's going on with that health and taking care of that. And as a result, I was on a Pamantasan Council executive meeting and talking with our partners on Maui, and they say, how can we get that on Maui, right? Because of what Filcom Cares and SG has done together, I think that might be a winning combination and getting information out and reaching out to our young constituents and continuing the work the people like, Mr. LB, Ernie, Amy folks, and Lito and Willie and Millie folks started back in 1981. This organization has been doing it since then and purely on volunteerism. Yeah, so very excited. Could not have done it without those support and the support of our current board and leaders. So again, thank you for the opportunity to share about our organization, what we continue to do, and and how we can support each other. So.
Thank you so much, Leon. I think you touched up on a lot of the important things, especially we want to feed the hunger of our young ones and be able to establish the same foundation that we all have, the other generation or the older generation has. So we know this, we have it in our hearts, but it's for us to continue growing, we need to pass it on to our young ones. And so you guys are doing great with Sariling Gawa. We're doing our own thing for Filipinos. And I'm so happy that it's all over the different islands now. So if Maui can do it, so can if Maui will be able to do it, then we should pass it on to Kauai also, and even Lanai and perhaps Molokai, you know. So, but we want to continue this partnership, Leon, as long as Filcom Cares is able to do whatever it is. Please contact us. We already know where to get a hold of you. So, maraming salamat and enjoy your break. I know that you're on your break, so thank you for the time that you have provided for us to talk about SG. Salamat, Leon.
So, take care
and good luck to the team.
Thank you.
Salamat. I believe we are still doing okay, so please let me know if I need to. We still have time for the next guest, right? Before we do our music break, I need a sign from Sir Larry. A thumbs up will be good, or I can go on with our next guest.
I'm ready.
Go ahead then. We'll continue after the break. We will come back with our next guest who is standing on the sidelines for Project Vision Big Island. Go ahead, Sir Larry.
All right. Thank you very much, Clem. I'm Larry Ordonez. Earlier in our program, saw singing with a guitar husband and wife Ernesto and Lita Quilban, originally from Solano, Nueva Vizcaya, now over in Washington. Then over in Hong Kong, we had Ruby Bufil, thanks to Deslave, multi-talented group, for referring Ruby into our program. And also thanks to Lourdes Azargon of Hong Kong for referring Regine Pamulan. Right now in our program, we'd like to share with you a talent by Aki Toazon. And let's go ahead and show you what Aki looks like, and there she is. Okay, that's Aki, all the way from Cavite, Philippines. And she messaged earlier this morning, tinatanong, anong oras ba yung Radiothon, Sir Larry? Sabi niya, kasi I told my mother, and my mother invited the whole barangay members to watch the program. And so here she is. Aki Toazon here on Filcom Cares Radiothon number 7.
Hello everyone, good afternoon, especially to the Filipino Radio and Filcom Cares Radiothon listeners and viewers. I am Aki from Cavite, and I really love singing. It's my ultimate passions in life, as well as my mental and emotional diversion. And I also love Broadway and classical music because those are my genres. So I used to sing back in college because I'm a choir member, and during the pandemic I used to join in several singing competitions online. That was back in 2019 and up until present. So I would like to share with you one of my masterpiece or favorite songs, and that is entitled Sa Kabukiran by Sylvia Latorre, one of the most popular folk song and kundiman singers here in the Philippines. So I hope that you would like my own rendition. God bless everyone and stay safe.
Ang halaman ng aking masdan
Thank you everyone for listening. God bless us all and stay safe.
Thank you, Aki Tuazon. Wow, what a stress reliever that is. What do you think? Well, I just want to say thank you to Tessie Blossom out of Daly City, California, for referring us to Aki Tuazon. What do you do for a stress reliever, Clem?
Sadly, I eat. I'm just kidding. I walk. O yan, much acceptable yan.
I like your first answer. I like your first answer.
Sadly, parang sometimes I'm in the front of my refrigerator asking myself, anong ginagawa ko dito? What am I doing here? What is there that's inside that's calling me? Clem, I'm here, your bread, ganon. Okay, we'll bring in Loretto. Please come in, Loretto, because we are going to tell you who won the other gas gift card. Oh, Loretto, nasaan ka na? Go ahead.
I am right here. So our winner for the question, let me pull it up for you folks. Just to remind you, the question was, who are the parents on those green social media posts on our website? And the answer is
Princessa.
Princessa Clemen Montero. And our winner is Josh Rivera of Honolulu. So congratulations, Josh Rivera, on your $50 gas gift card. And so really quickly, I'm going to jump to the next question. And so go check out our website as well. That was just a reminder to go to our website at filcomcares.org so you can see the social media posts and all of the other resources available to you. Question 3, as we recognize the many themes and causes for each month, May is also Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. It is also a health-related month. So listen closely to one of our next presenters in the next couple of segments to figure out what health month is May. And so you'll call in your answers again to 808-369-5380. And I'll pass it back to Princessa Clemen Montero here.
We have to drop Princessa kasi Empress is the other one that I would like to know. I'm just kidding. Okay, question. Ado amin na sabasabali at tema ti inagan when ipanagan tayo kadagiti bulan. Kasi ti Mayo is also known as Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. Anya pa iti ipanagan tayo para iti bulan ti Mayo. And it is related to salunat. Anya tinagan ti Mayo para kanya tayo awagan nyo ti numero 808-369-5380 para iti may sapay nga gas gift card. Apo nagado ti gas gift card tayo. Thank you, Loretto. Anything else to add to that one?
No. Good luck, folks. And then you'll also notice the green themes on buildings going on our different state buildings. That's another hint to you folks on what health month it is.
Congratulations again to Josh. What's the name again, Josh? The one who won?
Josh Rivera of Honolulu.
Honolulu. Thank you for listening, Honolulu. Okay, sumarunong guest tayo, our next guest. Nagretiro ni Suna. And out of the retirement, nagtrabaho man yan. So, nagretiron ti sumarunong sa nga ili tayo, ngem uray no nagretiron, nagtrabaho man yan para iti Project Vision, mang bakbakuna isuday jay isla ti Big Island. She has retired as an obstetrician, gynecologist, nurse, and manager from Hilo Medical Center. But now she's enjoying her time with three grandchildren and volunteering for church and the Filipino community. Please welcome Christina Tandokranan. She has come out of her retirement to assist with vaccinations through Project Vision. Salamat, Christina. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. I'm not sure what's going on with my video. Hopefully it'll clear itself up. Yeah.
It needs vaccination, Christina.
I think so.
Go ahead.
But thank you very much for inviting me to join this radiothon, especially if it has to do with our Filipino community. Yes, I did come out of retirement. I was the OB nurse manager here at Hilo Medical Center, and I did that for over 11 years and worked with the state for over 25 years. So, and having my grandchildren, it's, during retirement, that's what I'm doing now. And of course, that gives me the time to also do a little more for my Filipino community. So how I got into Project Vision as an RN is I volunteered to help with a Filcom Cares vaccination clinic at Kailua Kona at St. Michael's Church. And at that site, they had a nurse that came from Oahu. And I asked her, I said, oh, do you have a nurse here on the Big Island? And she said, no, we don't. Are you interested? And so that's how I got in touch with Project Vision Hawaii. And from there, they hired me as the RN here on the Big Island. And we offer services for Filcom Cares as well as our community here on the Big Island. But Filcom Cares is very near and dear to my heart. So I keep in close contact with them, and I try and help as much as possible.
Thank you so much. And go ahead. I didn't mean to cut Christina.
No, that was all.
Thank you so much, because we know that you are voluntold as well.
Yes.
But
yes,
this is the only way we can get people out of their retirement or whatever you're doing to be assisting in the Filipino community. So your efforts are very important to us, to our project, and to the Filipino community as a whole. And Filipinos at heart, because like you said, it's like one of our guests said, it's not just for Filipinos, but para kada tayo amin. And then I can't remember if Christina speaks Tagalog or Ilocano, but whichever it is, you know what I'm talking about.
I think I understood that. I speak this, I understand the Ilocano. I speak Tagalog, but I can understand just by hearing everyone else around me.
Yeah, that's true, right? Yeah. So we now know, even if you are a Tagalog speaker, there's Ilocano infiltrating in there, Ilocano words, and vice versa. Maraming salamat, Christina. We really appreciate your time today.
You're very welcome. I appreciate being on.
Thank you.
I can help. Anyway.
Oh, yes, for sure. Ay, talaga. Marami kang tinulong para sa amin dahil sa oras na binibigay mo para magbakuna ng mga tao dyan sa Big Island. Salamat. Okay, so I believe I'm just waiting on cues from behind the scene kind of people. So I think we're ready to bring Natalie and Rochelle in. If not, I'm going to go straight to our next segment on health. Oh, there they are. Okay, go ahead. Are we mic'd up? Are we? Okay. Go ahead.
Yes, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Natalie Kanada. I'm an outreach assistant with Filcom Cares. We're here today on Maui at the Barrio Fiesta at the Binti at Ani Filipino Community Center in Kahului. We are doing multiple things today, one of them being our COVID vaccination clinic with Project Vision Hawaii on Maui. And we also have other things like glucose testing. We have a few people who got their glucose tested today, cholesterol testing, as well as blood pressure screening. And so we'll be here today to provide those resources. One of the other resources we're providing partnership with is for Medicare information. So I brought with us today Petra. She's here at our booth to help with Medicare. If I can have her just share a little bit about her role.
Thank you for the introduction. My name is Petra Dupont. I live here on Maui, and I'm an independent Medicare broker. So my job is to hopefully answer any and all questions that people have in regards to Medicare when they retire, when they become eligible, and also investigate if they're eligible for other benefits like Medicaid, MedQuest, low-income subsidy for medications.
Yes, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
If anyone has any questions, if you have like a contact information where they can...
Sure. Feel free to give me a call. My number is 808-214-5737. Again, 808-214-5737. If I cannot pick up the phone, just leave me a message and I will get back to you ASAP.
Thank you so much, Petra,
Thank you.
for speaking about some of our resources that we're sharing today. We have a lot of other activities going on today. There's a lot of food available. We have some ice candy, some pescadon. There'll be, I believe, a pancit eating contest later on. And so a lot of fun things today, a lot of other resources as well. Perhaps
at the Barrio Fiesta. Okay, moving on to our next segment, which is health. Daytoy sumarano, pagsasaritaan tayo ket sensitibo. It's a little bit sensitive. Isuasaan tayo unay, wano, kaadwan kada tayo Pilipino. Saan unay ang pagtutungtungan daytoy siguro ti may sa arason. No apay, marigatan tayo nga ang saludsod para ititulong. Here to assist us understand the topic of mental health are Dr. Clifford Barsamira, Assistant Professor, Department of Social Work, UH Manoa, and he'll talk about the mental health in Filipino community and the barriers in getting help. We also have Maria Cristina Chachi Ibarra, mental health advocate and founder of Kasamahan Company. So please welcome Dr. Barsamira and Chachi Ibarra. Go ahead, please.
Kamusta, and thank you so much for having me. And I appreciate the introduction and also the time to talk about mental health and substance use. I was able to understand, Clem, this is a really hard topic for our families and our community to talk about, and typically we don't. So I appreciate the space to share a bit about these issues. My career as a social worker and as a social work professor, I've been thinking about how can our communities in the United States better talk about and get help for their mental health issues and their drug and alcohol issues or substance use issues. And, I've lived in Hawaii for the past 5 years or so, and I've been really focusing in on our Filipino community and thinking about how they can actually better get care. I see that my internet is stable, so I apologize if I'm going in and out. But the one thing I want to mention with regards to our Filipino community is I think that we're very strong in understanding healthcare. We work as nurses and in healthcare, but many of us don't understand behavioral health. We don't understand how to go get therapy or counseling. And that's something that we want to, try to expand upon and be better connected to. We have a very strong community that's very resilient. But I think with that strength and that resilience also means that we don't want to get help for certain issues, including mental and addiction related problems. And the problem there is that what we found in the research is that when Filipino folks go and get help for mental health and addiction problems, they tend to go and show up when it's at its worst, when they need to get residential treatment or really hard problems. And so if you can think about going to a dentist, we usually don't wait to go to the dentist until it's really bad. We get checkups, and we really need to think about mental health in that way too. But we also have to acknowledge that our community doesn't like to talk about these issues because there's a lot of shame and embarrassment. And so that's one of the things that's really important to me is how can we remove some of that stigma and shame about talking about feeling a little sad or feeling anxiety or anxious or knowing that maybe I have a problem drinking too much, or that my brother or my son has a problem drinking too much, so that we can talk to one another about those issues rather than waiting until it's really, really too hard to fix and we need more severe help. And also it becomes more costly and our health really gets impacted and our family relationships get impacted. And so that's some of the work that I've been doing, is to better and how we can improve on that. And one of the recommendations that I have is that we need to find ways as a community to talk about mental health and drug and alcohol problems with one another in spaces like in community centers, in church, because I know that not everybody wants to go to see a therapist, but how can we foster those conversations so that it's okay to talk with one another and support one another to then go and get that help they might need it. And one of the good things is that our younger generation, they're really good about sharing on social media and talking with one another, and maybe even sometimes their family about mental health issues. And one of those great initiatives, I'm glad to be here with Chachi to talk about a Filipino mental health initiative, which she's helped to start. But also then I'm also thinking about Kasamahan Collective, which Clem mentioned earlier, and some of those podcasts that have been featured there to talk about mental health. So I'm actually going to hand it over to Chachi to talk a little bit about those initiatives.
Thank you, Cliff. You made really absolutely good points, like especially within the Filipino community here in Hawaii. It's so hard to talk about just the topic of mental health because it's not a definition or a term that is brought to us. And I'm really excited for everyone to share about this initiative that I started alongside Rochelle Concepcion, who is from San Francisco Bay Area, which the FMHI is a part of. So FMHI and our vision is to really create the healthy, thriving Filipino community. And one of our past events that happened on December was hosted at Filcom Center, and that really started a group of like young, like-minded, especially we had it hybrid. So we had it on Zoom and we had it in person, and we just had conversation about questions that we had about why do us have a difficult time like creating this conversation. And one of our really initiatives now is to really get it out there on social media and to really finding ways to also connect to our cultural values. Alongside with that, I wanted to share this recent news that happened through the Hawaii legislations, which was a resolution that I was working on with our national partners with the National Asian American Pacific Islander Mental Health Association, also stands for NAPIMA, that I had May 10, 2023 as Mental Health Day passed here in Hawaii, and we were the first in the state to actually do it. Alongside with that, I do want to encourage a lot of our young adults, our older generation, even you, to reach out and follow us on Facebook, on Instagram at FMHI_Hawaii, as we are continuing to really outreach, as long as also working ways to work together with Filcom Cares to really redefine the definition of mental health in our community. I will pass it back to Cliff for the closing message.
Salamat, Chachi. Just in closing, I do encourage folks to start talking about mental health issues and drug and alcohol issues with one another, with your families, with your community members. Reach out to Chachi's group, that Filipino Mental Health Initiative. But also, I wanted to just remind folks that we have a resource here in the state called Hawaii Cares. And there's a new number, 988. That's been put around nationally. It's like 911, but it's for mental health, substance use, and crisis-related issues. If you know anyone who might need mental health care, addiction-related care, or have crisis-related issues like suicide on their mind, you can call or text or chat 988 to get connected to folks here in Hawaii, but also nationally help. Salamat po for your time.
Cliff, I do have a question for you and maybe Chachi also.
Yes.
do you also do this in the community? Do you have meetings that the community members can go to, especially those who need help in trying to approach the family member, because it becomes very sensitive and you end up fighting, and it's all hot blood, right, that we're dealing with Filipinos. And so do you have these, or is the 988 number that you just gave a good way to start for them to call to ask for assistance?
So thank you for that question. The 988 number is really for folks who are trying to get connected to counseling, to therapy, to residential treatment, especially if you don't know how to navigate that system and get it, they'll help you to get connected to those kinds of care. If you have an issue where it's just like, I need some guidance to talk about it with my family member, or talk about it with my son, I think we're trying to develop spaces for that here in Hawaii in the community. They're just not there yet. And I do think that this is where Filipino Mental Health Initiative Hawaii is a really good starting point for that. I'm starting to do this also in my own research as a professor, in thinking about how can we actually create spaces and community for parents to sort of learn from one another how to talk about these issues. There are some spaces around for people with drug and alcohol issues, especially in Waipahu, where they can go to AA. If you might have heard of Alcoholics Anonymous, and there tend to be a lot of folks from the Filipino community in those spaces to talk about their alcohol problems. But with regards to mental health, those don't really exist yet. And part of that problem is that we don't talk about these issues, right? So that's really the big push, is to get us to talk about, so we can create those spaces and those resources beyond the 988, which is the therapy, the counseling, the residential treatment.
Got it. Thank you so much. Very important for us to continue this relationship and connection. Dr. Cliff Barsamira and Chachi Ibarra, thank you for your time. We will get a hold of you. We also have a Monday's broadcast, and perhaps if you have the time, we would like to bring you in and talk more about mental health issues and focusing on the Filipinos. Continuing on our conversation about health, maraming salamat again, Dr. Barsamira and Chachi Ibarra. Isa sa nangungunang sakit ng mga Filipino ang alta presyon, right? So high blood or hot-blooded talaga ang mga Filipino. And I want to bring in Dr. Kimberly Uilani Chow Rule, who is the assistant professor at UH Manoa School of Nursing. She is also the CEO of Hawaii Nurses CE. Maraming Filipino or Filipina nurses ang registered nurses at tinutulungan ni Dr. Chow Rule na maging registered nurses sila dito sa Amerika. You need to go to our website, hawaiinursesce.com, hawaiinursesce.com. Dr. Chow Rule, it's so formal for me to call you that. Mm-hmm. We have known each other for a long time, and we go way back. And this one I didn't tell her, but I will tell the audience. We go way back to when she can only eat broccoli if it is covered with cheese. I know, she taught me how to do that. It was wonderful. I know her simply as Kimmy, and she prefers for her students to also call her Kumu Ui. Her name is Kimi Ui, right? So Kumu Ui Kumu is a teacher or source or knowledge sa Hawaiian na lengguahe. So she's here to talk to us about two things, and one is how to alleviate hypertension. Okay, go.
Okay, well, first I wanted to just say that, I learned a little bit of Tagalog from my friend. So I hope I'm saying this correctly. I was practicing. Maganda ara sayo.
Magandang araw sa iyo din, yes.
Okay, I gotta practice a little bit more. But I also remember she taught me nagugutom ako. That tells you our relationship, that we love our food, yeah. And that's very common. Food is love. And so it's interesting that you bring that up, because we're going to talk a little bit about that with blood pressure. So first of all, when I was asked to talk about blood pressure, I wanted to look up some statistics about high blood pressure in the Filipino community. According to the Hawaii Health Data Warehouse, where they gather information from medical records from across the islands of Hawaii. In Hawaii, 27.4% of people, everybody in Hawaii, have high blood pressure. And of those people, 30% or greater than 30% are Filipino. So in other words, Filipinos fare slightly worse than the average person in Hawaii with high blood pressure. So this is a really important topic to talk about because high blood pressure is very, very preventable and very treatable. And because it's not something that we can see or sometimes we can't feel it, oftentimes it goes ignored. So it's really great to talk about it. So I thought I'd just start out really quickly with what is blood pressure. So if I could just start with just giving you a picture in your mind. So if you think about a water balloon, so picture those balloons and you put them over the faucet and you turn the faucet on and the balloon starts to fill with water, okay? So let's keep that image in our mind when we're talking. So blood pressure is referring to how much pressure is exerted on blood vessels in the blood. So think about that balloon. When we put a little bit of blood in it, it's very squishy. We put lots of water in it, it's very taut and tight, right? Because there's a lot more pressure in the balloon. Those numbers, the top and the bottom numbers, are important. The top number is the amount of pressure that is exerted on those blood vessels when the heart beats. So when the blood pumps out through the body, that pressure that you can feel it in your pulse, that's the top number of that blood pressure reading. And then the bottom number is the amount of pressure that's on those blood vessels when the heart is not pumping or when it's at relaxed point, right? So what the issue with high blood pressure is that when it's high for a long period of time, think about those little tiny veins that you can sometimes see in your wrist, or actually there are even tinier ones that are in your eyes and in your kidneys that are so tiny that a lot of pressure can blow it up, can cause it to explode. It can even happen in your head. When that happens in your head, it's called a stroke. When it happens in your heart, it's called a heart attack. So we want to take care of our blood pressure because it has effects on other parts of our organs and in our body. So let's start with what is normal blood pressure. So according to the JNC8, and that's called the Joint National Committee 8, and it's this national guidelines, normal blood pressure is considered 120/80, and they would actually like to see that even a little lower. So when you start getting into above 120, between 120 and 140, that top number, or between 80 and 90, that bottom number, that's when the doctor starts looking and saying, maybe we need to start making some changes because we want to bring this number down. And the first thing they want to do is say, change your lifestyle or your diet. So there's this really great article that was written by Kyla Laura Brettinger. She's a Filipino and is a doctor. And she wrote this article in August of 2022. And she mentioned all the recommendations that the American Heart Association talked about when it comes to decreasing blood pressure and what we need to do for lifestyle. And that would be alcohol consumption. It says 80% of Filipino men and 50% of Filipino women drink alcohol. So an occasional drink, one drink on occasion is fine. Our body can take that. But it's when we consistently drink multiple drinks regularly that it starts to affect our blood pressure. Smoking, 17% of Filipino Americans smoke, and this is really detrimental to our health, and it causes hardening of arteries and blood vessels. High sodium diet, we're going to talk about that because that's the food that we love. And a sodium diet really causes blood pressure to rise. If you've ever eaten something salty or even something really sweet, like if you ever had an ice cream cone and then wanted to drink water afterwards, that's an example of how high salt can cause more water to go in your body because you're drinking more water, and that raises your blood pressure. That's increasing the volume of that water balloon. Okay, so that is putting more pressure on our arteries, and therefore that can also lead to complications with high blood pressure, having a high sodium diet. Diabetes, people who are diabetic.
Hang on, Dr. Chow.
Sure.
I just wanted to ask a question because you talked about drinking water, because normally when people are eating something salty, they want to drink more water, but that's actually not good for you like you just said, it's increasing the volume or the pressure if you drink more water. That's something new for me because I know a lot of relatives say, oh, just drink more water. If you ate a lot of the ding-ding, they just say, oh, drink more water. So, okay, that's something
important for
Right.
us to know.
So what happens is salt and sugar is very hydrophilic. It likes water. So if you have a lot of salt that is in your body, your body sends a signal that says, I'm thirsty. So that's why you start to drink water. But what happens is, as long as the salt is in your body, your water is going to be attracted to it. You've increased the volume in your body. And then eventually, hopefully, you urinate out some of that water, some of that salt, because your body will eventually figure out, hey, there's too much water there's too much volume in me. So think of that water balloon. We have to let out some of the water so that it doesn't burst, right? That water balloon. But yeah, so that's our body's natural response. But if we're always eating salt, then we're always maintaining a lot of fluid in our body. And that is not good. Sometimes what our body will do is push it out into other spaces. That's why we might see swelling in our feet and swelling in other parts of our body, because we have so much water that it has to put it somewhere. So water is a good thing, but when you add salt and water, it holds on to too much in our body, and that's what causes the problem.
That's something really good for us to know. I hope that you still have a few more minutes. We're going to do a very short break of music break, and then we will bring you back because we still want to know what's the best time to take our medication. So, so hang on there, Dr. Chow Rule, please. And thank you for your time. Larry, we're going to go back to you.
All right. Thank you very much, Clem. I'm listening very intently on what Dr. Kim Chow Rule is talking about. I could use the information like many of our listeners as well as viewers. Would like to say big mahalo to Promising Stars International President and Founder Tessie Blossom of Daly City for referring us to Joanne Sip Sip. And Joanne Sip Sip is next to entertain us. She is from Tagum City, Davao, in the Philippines. And we'd like to share her greetings right now, as well as her song. Let's present Joanne Sip Sip.
Good afternoon, Filipino Radio and Filcom Cares listeners and viewers. I am Joanne from Tagum City. Music is my passion and I love singing po. And I love rock music. And I hope you like the song I am singing for you today. It's called Never Enough. And thank you for inviting me here po. Hope you like it. I'm trying to hold my breath. Let it stay this way. And let this moment end. Instead of dreaming, getting loud and loud. Can you hear it echoing? Oh, take my hand. We share this with me. 'Cause darling, without you, all shine of 1,000 spotlights, all stars are steal from the night sky. Will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. It says could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be
Joanne Sipsip from Tagum City, Davao. Thank you very much to Tessie Blossom of Daly City, California, for referring to us, Joanne Sipsip, in Filcom Cares Radiothon number 7. Promising Stars International, Tessie Blossom. Now let's go back to our dear friend Clemen Montero. Hi, Clem.
Aloha, maraming salamat to Tessie Blossom, who always shares all of the talents that she finds on people. I want to quickly return or ask for Dr. Kimi Uilani Chow Rule to talk to us now about prescribed and over-the-counter types of vitamins or supplements is what we call. We want to know when the best time to take these medications. And of course, while I have you here, I would like to book you already on a Monday broadcast that we have also. To go over a little bit more about all these, because I know your time is limited also today. And so if you have time on Mondays, please come back to talk to us. But right now, let's bring her back because I want to know, especially, when is the best time to take our medications?
According to research, there are some people that say mornings, there are some people that say night times, but based on experience with other nurses and other providers, the best time to take your medications is when you take your medications. And what I mean by that is oftentimes people just don't. So it's not a matter of when, it's do take your medications. If you're working a night shift and you remember in the morning, take it in the morning. If you always eat breakfast, put it with something you always do, like breakfast or dinner, or put it together. But it's so important to just take it. Just take the medicine. It doesn't matter when, just take it. That's the first thing. The second thing is for supplements, it's best to take it with a meal because supplements are things that we're making up for. Supplement means to add on to. So when we do that, we want to kind of couple it with the foods that we should be getting it from. And, Filipino diets are rich with vegetables and fruits. And, those usually provide us with many of our vitamins. But if you have to add extra, taking it with those foods would be helpful. Your body can take it in better. And the last thing I'll just say is when to take your medications is I would really talk to a pharmacist. When you go to pick up your medication or when you're at your doctor, ask them, when is the best time to take this? Because the timing is not as important as sometimes interactions with other medications might be an issue. So it really matters from person to person what you're taking. And so knowing what other medicines you're taking and when maybe not to take them together would be a more important thing to know.
One last one for you, insulin shots. Is it the same?
Okay.
Is it this? You need to take it the same time every time, but is it better in the morning, better in the afternoon, or is it the same idea as your medications?
So insulin shots are very different because you have short, medium, and long acting. So if you have a long acting, they usually tell you to take it at night. If it's short acting, it's taken before meals. So if you're taking insulin shots, again, the important thing is to take it. Don't skip. And when you're given the insulin, they tell you when you should take it because of the type of insulin, short or long acting.
Dr. Chow Rule, thank you so much for your time. I know I will contact you again because we do have questions that are coming in and I want to share those with you and then have the time to talk more during our Monday broadcast. So maraming salamat sa oras and yes, my parents are waiting to see you as well.
All right. I look forward to it.
Thank you so much.
Mahalo.
I appreciate it. Mahalo. Thank you. Moving on to our next segment. Are our important people that works for us from the different islands, from the neighboring islands. So these are our neighboring islands outreach coordinators, and we will have a report from all of them when we have the first one, of course, is Molokai Lanai outreach coordinator, Alice Kabael Kaahanui. Please welcome her. She is no stranger, like I said to us. Oh, wow, that's a very pretty blouse. I love that. Welcome, and please go ahead.
Thank you for including Molokai and Lanai again. We appreciate being part of Filcom Care's efforts to provide outreach, education, resources, vaccination, and testing opportunities here on the smaller islands. We're not always seen, but we, more than any of the other islands, have kept our traditional values and practices closest to the heart of who we are as a people. There's an old Filipino proverb, a person who does not remember where they came from will never reach their destination. A similar Hawaiian proverb is, we look to the past as a guide to the future. And Reverend Martin Luther King Jr. said, my friends, we've got to go back and rediscover some mighty precious values that we've left behind. That is where our strength is. For our smaller islands, we draw strength from those who came before us, laid down roots, helped us and future generations to excel in education and status where they couldn't. We go back to the way they sustained and provided. Our families now raise our own egg layers. We plant our own food, gather by hunting and fishing, and we can't do it ourselves. We share with each other. My family participated in a film, Sustainable Living on the Island of Molokai. It's now showing on OC16, and I hope you get to see it. When we lived on Oahu, we got so caught up in working that we forgot to take care of ourselves and our homes. Now we're going back to living the way we used to be. And we realize it's way healthier than fast food and canned goods all the time. And we're doing more together, building healthier family relationships. When we look back at our roots, we remember to take care of our elders. We make COVID test kits more available to them by delivering them to their homes. The volunteers who deliver try to spend time just to talk story and see how they are. When their families visit from off island, we make the kits available to them to help keep their families safe. Many are home this weekend for Memorial Day to remember their family members or for class decade reunions, 2013, 2003, 1993, 83, 73, 63. We'll be making kits available to them. These types of events, plus graduation parties, weddings, make it more likely to spread. We encourage our elders to participate in health programs provided by our partners. Our professional medical and mental health resources are lacking, but we do with what we have, another valuable lesson our forefathers taught us.
Sorry. Go ahead, please.
Another partner, Molokai Community Health Center, has a mobile clinic going to the outlying areas where there are no providers. We help with referrals. It's a newer program, so not too many people know about it yet. Malama Molokai Wellness has sit-down kupuna exercise classes that can evolve into more activity. They concentrate on the whole body wellness as well as community wellness. And the Molokai Rural Health Community Association, or Kupuna program, provides our elders with Tai Chi and stretching classes, free haircuts, art classes through our Molokai Art Center, and more. It's not only about physical health, but improving social and mental health within our elder population, especially when their families are away. If you have elder family members on Molokai, encourage them to contact me so I can help them get into their programs. Wherever you are, remember your roots. Remember the values our parents, grandparents, and our ancestors taught us about the strength of family, about the direct connection between the land we walk on, the roots that are our foundation, the stems that climb toward the sky, always reaching, and the leaves whose colors change depending on how well we take care of those plants. The flowers and fruits are a bonus. They are our health and our wellness. Take care of their plants, take care of each other. Most of all, take care of your individual self so that you can be that healthy plant that nurtures the others and helps other plants to blossom and grow. And one last thing, I challenge each of you to carve out 1 hour of your time every week to go visit an elder, especially one you haven't seen in a long time. Take your child or grandchild with you. Rebuild the strength in our roots and help our youth learn the stories that can make them thrive.
Oh, what a wonderful suggestion. That is a challenge, especially for the younger generation to go see their older generation or the ones who cannot be, they're no longer mobile, so that's a wonderful suggestion. I will take you up on that. Well, I do go see my 80-something-year-old parents on the weekends, and it is a challenge, Alice. The things that are needed, the things that they need now, in the elder, but we always have to think of how, like you said, they took care of us, so we need to take care of each other.
It is, and it's not just our own parents and families, but even the nanas and tatas that you haven't seen in a while. Just they're alone. They don't have anybody on the island with them, so it's good to have, others that they watched grow to come and see them.
Exactly. Maraming salamat, Alice, for always bringing us the latest from Molokai, Lanai, and even more. So I do like your reports. Like I would message you something. I really like this one. So thank you, Alice, for those nurturing things, even for the mind. Salamat. So
take care.
Take care. Salamat. And of course, we'll bring in Natalie Kamada, Outreach Coordinator for Oahu. And if you have Nikki next to you, we are going to go straight to her if she is next to you. If not, we got Crystal Kaday also, but I know that you guys are busy. Go ahead, Natalie.
Hi, yes, thank you again for having me on. I will bring you guys to Nikki shortly, but just wanted to share a little bit of our outreach on Oahu. Recently, we've had a couple of events, first being the Filipino Fiesta on May 6th. We had a COVID vaccination clinic there in partnership with Kaiser, as well as we distributed out COVID test kits. I believe over 1,000 test kits were distributed. So that was really awesome to be able to provide that provide that service to the community. And it was a great day for, everyone to come down and just explore the Filipino culture, get some good food, some good resources. We also had a health fair, Spring into Health Fair, in partnership with the Health Careers Opportunities Program at UH Manoa, with the Filipino Medical Association of Hawaii and with Dorigo Health. We were able to share health resources. There was someone doing music therapy, someone providing out baby formula. We also had, of course, a vaccination clinic there as well with Kaiser Permanente. Times Pharmacy was also there to provide COVID vaccinations, even things like the hepatitis B and pneumonia vaccines. And again, it was just a great way for the community to be able to learn more about what resources there are available. And if I can just share a little bit of some more updates at the Binhi'aani for the Barrio Fiesta. We have some cultural villages here inside. Sorry, excuse me. We have, I can just show the screen. So we have some from Cebu, from Ilocos Norte, Metro Manila, Mindanao. So if I can just bring you guys inside. Here's just a little bit of the inside portion where you can explore all the different cultural villages in here. So this is just the inside portion. And then I know we did just talk about sugar, watching your blood pressure, but we do have some delicious food here today as well.
Oh no!
It's always good. It's always good in moderation.
Moderation is the correct word. Salamat. Yes. Oh, there's a lechon.
So we have a lechon.
Are they still
there
cooking
grilling.
the lechon?
Yes.
It's not done yet.
No. So cooking, and then we also have some other tents there. They're selling pork and peas, some other plate lunches. And they're also, I believe, at the moment doing a Veterans Memorial service as well.
Of course, yes.
Just a nice sunny day. Yeah, a nice sunny day for everyone to come on out. I will go ahead and try make my way to Nikki, or if
while you're making
Crystal
your way
wanted to come on
Nikki,
at the moment.
yeah, while you're making your way to Nikki, we're gonna go with Crystal, Crystal Caday-Vargallo from Kauai, and then we'll come back to Nikki or soon after. Thank you so much, Natalie. Enjoy yourself there. Crystal, are you here already? Please join us and tell us about the outreach things that you are doing in the island of Kauai. Loretto, anyone? Okay, so we're not going to hear from her. Maybe she'll come back. If Nikki is already on, we will talk to Nikki as well. And if not, we're going to do a music break because we need one at the moment. So let's go. Let's move on. We don't want to waste our time. So let's go to a music break.
All right. I am always ready. I'm always ready here. Clem, yeah, always on standby, our next entertainer. Well, earlier today you heard of Ernesto and Lita Culban. You heard of Ruby Bofil, Regine Pamulan. You heard Joanne Sip Sip, Aki Tuazon. Right now we'll go to Bukidnon in Mindanao. We have a singer and gaffer, contestant of Tawag ng Tanghalan. This is Romel Kulao, and we'd like to say thank you to Lourdes Azargon of Hong Kong for referring us to Romel Kulao, who had been appearing on Tawag ng Tanghalan. So let's go ahead. It's a singing contest on television back home in the Philippines. So
hello,
here is
Sir Larry Ordonez of Filipino Radio, Honolulu, Hawaii, USA. Sir, thank you for this opportunity. And thank you so much to Ma'am Lourdes Azargon for inviting me. Maraming salamat.
This is Romel Kulao, Bukidnon, Mindanao.
Hey, there's a look in your eyes, must be love at first sight. You were just part of a dream, nothing more, so it seemed. But my love couldn't wait much longer. Just can't forget the picture of your smile. 'Cause every time I close my eyes, you come alive. The closer I get touching you, the closer I get to loving you. Give it time, just a little more time, we'll be together. Stronger than before. Why does it seem like a dream? So much more, so it seems. I guess I found my inspiration with just one smile to take your breath away. So hold me close and say you'll stay with me now. The closer I get touching you, the closer I get to loving you. Give it time, just a little more time, we'll be together. Every
Thank you so much, sir.
Romel Colao of Bukidnon, Mindanao, singing Closer, You and I. Thank you, Lourdes Azargon of Hong Kong, for referring Romel into our program. Now, let's go back to Miss Clemen Montero. Hi, Clem.
All the way from Bukidnon, ang galing. Oo nga. Talagang ang reach mo talaga, Sir Larry, malayo talaga na nadadatnan ng ating show na ngayon. So I'm sure that if they're not watching live, they will watch the reruns on our Facebook Live pages. And maraming salamat for doing that. We'll bring back Nikki Baisa is our outreach coordinator in Maui. She really has helped put together this Barrio Fiesta. So talagang busy po si Nikki. So thank you for being with us. So important. Go ahead, please.
Hi, how are you guys? So
you're getting a nice sun there.
I know. It's been very nice. It's not hot at all. It's not humid. So there's a good breeze. Although, the sun is up and all that, right? But it's so very nice. Right now, it's not quite busy, but last night was so very busy. And we were told that there's going to be more people in the afternoon. So we did have a health booth. I organized this health booth, and of course, Filcom Care is part of it, right? Big part of it. We've been giving away COVID test kits. We also partnered with Project Vision, and Project Vision has been giving out giving vaccines, flu and the COVID vaccines to some of the participants. We also we're also doing blood pressure screening, cholesterol screening, blood glucose screening. We have a Medicare representative in our booth as well, giving out information or answering questions about Medicare. So it's been very good. A lot of people have been appreciating the services that we're providing the community.
Nikki, your efforts there is so important, and so I'm glad that there's a lot of people that are visiting. But of course, alam mo naman ng mga Pilipino, they will come at night because there's sun not out there. So
I know. It's too funny.
Alam ko yan.
Yeah.
Ang iba siguro may payong, so they can put
Oh my God, yes. You bet you. That's what they're doing. They're waiting for the afternoon. Oh yeah, I've already seen some people with umbrellas. So I'm sorry for my voice. I'm recovering from laryngitis. So I'm actually in front of like this lechon. Have you seen this? Look,
it's still being cooked. I can't wait for it.
It's being cooked. Look at that. It's crazy. So there's a pancit eating contest, and I think Rochelle is planning on joining it.
That's the best. That's the best.
Yeah, I know. There was like a sungka contest a while ago, and the price like $500. So why not, right?
Oh my gosh, that's
I know.
Good sponsors.
I know. I know. So so it's been very good. We've been quite busy, especially since last night. So it's good.
Thank you for your efforts, of course, and thank you for all you do for Filcom Cares, Nikki. Do enjoy the rest of the day. Stay out of the sun, not too much.
Okay,
and
thank you.
Enjoy
I
the
know.
lechon for all of us.
Right. Thank you so much. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, bye.
Bye. Enjoy. I think we're going to go into telling you who won the next one, because we do want to make sure that we have enough time for our next guest. But I'll bring back Loreto Coloma Jr. here to tell us and announce the last winner of our gas gift card. Go ahead, Loreto.
Absolutely. And so if you remember the question was, what health month is May as well? So other than Asian Pacific Islander Heritage Month, I want to bring back our question just so that we can announce the winner here. And the winner for this question, pardon me. So for the question, what health month is it? And our caller was Chachi Ibarra of Eva Beach. And so the answer was Mental Health Awareness Month. So if you see a lot of our state buildings illuminated in green, Aloha Tower, the Blaisdell Center, the state capitol, the Board of Water Supply. It's a reminder that this month is Mental Health Awareness Month, and green is that color. And sort of an opportune question for our next segment. Our question is about ongoing re-enrollment of MedQuest. If you have or know anyone with MedQuest, notices will be mailed to inform about the next steps in these brightly colored envelopes. The question is, what color are these envelopes? And so call in with your answer, 808-369-5380, and listen closely to the next segment. You might just find out the answer there as well.
Mm-hmm. Nice segue to introduce our next guest here. And just to translate this number 4 question, pakinggang mabuti ang sasabihin ni CJ, ang susunod na magsasalita tungkol sa MedQuest. Ang tanong, the question, anong kulay ng sobreng matatanggap ninyo sa koreo by mail? Anya kano ti color, ti envelope, amaawat yo iti mail, gapo iti MedQuest. So, nice segue to our next speaker. Of course, our friend, good friend, I must say. We always say, CJ, do you have that? Yes, he will always say yes. So, maraming salamat, CJ. Manager product and member engagement with Aloha Care. Like I said, he is a fixture with Filcom Care's Radiothons. If you remember, he was here to give more information in Medicare, Medicaid before the changes, especially with the elderly, such as dental services. But today, our focus is on MedQuest and the challenges many face in steps to renew membership, or maybe not challenges. Here to share how to navigate is CJ Johnson from Aloha Care. Go ahead, CJ. Mabuhay ka.
Aloha, everybody. Hey, how's it going? Thank you so much for having me. Like you said, it's always great, and I will always make time to hang out on Radiothon, so I appreciate the time. I appreciate the work you guys do. You are such important, critical voices for Filipino health and health education and awareness in Hawaii. So thank you so much. You've been such amazing partners for the Department of Health, for MedQuest, for me at Aloha Care. So thank you. We really appreciate it. I do want to share a little bit about Aloha Care. So Aloha Care is a Medicaid health plan, right? So if you are a Medicaid member, or you go to a Medicaid MedQuest to try to figure out if you're eligible. Once you're determined to be eligible for Medicaid coverage, for safety net health coverage in Hawaii, we are one of the health plans that you can choose. What makes us unique among the health plans is we are locally governed. We're a nonprofit. We work for the community health centers of Hawaii. So if you know KKV, or if you know Waimanalo Health Center, or you know Waianae Comprehensive, those are our bosses. We work for them. We work for you in the community, not some shareholders back on the mainland, right? So it's really important. Our members, our member community health centers are really, really important to us. So today, as Clem mentioned, I'm here to talk about the renewal process. And what's timely about the renewal process is that because of the pandemic, the normal renewal process was paused for about 3 years. So normally everyone has to renew their eligibility once every year or so. Well, they didn't want anybody to lose their Medicaid insurance during the pandemic, so they put a pause on that from March of 2020 through about a couple of months ago. And so you might not have known, if you're a Medicaid member and you signed up during that time, you might not have known that you have to renew every year. Well, that's all changing, right? So what's happening over the next year, it started in May, it's going to go through next May, is they're sending out everyone who's on Medicaid is going to get in the mail a pink envelope, a bright pink envelope that has the information that you need to know and the work that you need to do, to paperwork that you need to fill out to make sure that you are renewed, that your Medicaid coverage is renewed for the next year. So we have a couple of really important messages, and this is if there's a takeaway from this, there's a couple of things I'd really love everyone to take away. One is, obviously we're using the mail, and MedQuest is using the mail to do that. So if you are a Medicaid member and you've moved since the beginning of the pandemic or before the pandemic, please call your health plan and update your contact information. That health plan could be Aloha Care, it could be Kaiser, it could be HMSA, it could be Ohana, it could be United. Whichever of those, you have a health insurance card that's your Medicaid card, there's a number on the back of that. If you call them and tell them I've moved, they will help you update your information with MedQuest. And it's really, really important that you do that. Because again, that's how MedQuest is going to communicate important information about getting renewed with you. The second thing, so that's one, right? Update your information. The second thing is when you get that pink envelope, it's really, really important to open it right away. You don't have a lot of time between when you get that envelope and when your time is up. So we really want to encourage everybody, you get that pink envelope, you open it and you fill out the work inside there immediately. If you have any questions, if there's anything in there you're not sure about, again, you can call your health plan. We can help you out with it. You can call your community health center. They have eligibility workers that can help you with it. There's lots of help out there. So if you're confused, you need language support, don't give up. Just call somebody that can help, and we'll make sure that we'll get filled up. We don't want anybody to miss out on their health coverage just because the form is too confusing, right? And then the third thing, and I think this is really important, we really want everybody's help getting the word out. Maybe you're not a Medicaid member yourself, but maybe you're a business owner and you work and you have employees whose families have Medicaid. Maybe you're involved in a church community and you know that there's the congregants in your church who may be on Medicaid. Maybe you have cultural groups or social groups that you're involved with. There's great information on medquest.hawaii.gov, and Filcom's going to have all that information available as well if you need to reach out to them, or you can reach out to me at Aloha Care. But we have posters, we have flyers, we have handouts, we have lists of frequently asked questions. We have this stuff in language. So if you have folks who aren't great, who'd prefer to get their information in another language other than English, we've got that stuff for you in a lot of languages. So we really, really, really just want your help getting the word out. If you've got ideas for things that we can do, if you'd like me to come to a group and share this information, or if you'd like Filcom to share, or if you got a health fair, it's all hands on deck. We don't want anybody to miss out. So we're here to help and we're here to answer questions. So medquest.hawaii.gov for any of those translations, any asked questions that if you missed anything today, there's a lot more information there. The Filcom folks know how to find me if you want to reach out to them, and we can talk about how to put together, I'm not going anywhere. We really, really, really are passionate about making sure everyone in Hawaii has access to quality healthcare that they can afford. And that a lot of that has to do with making sure that if you're entitled to Medicaid, that you continue to have access to Medicaid beyond the pandemic. So again, I just want to say thank you to Clem. I know she's probably going to translate some of that, turn that over, but the three things: update your contact info, open your pink envelope and fill out any paperwork included right away, and help us get the word out, help spread the message. Those are my three things that I want everybody to take away. So Clem, again, thank you. Larry, thank you so much for having me. We really appreciate it. I'm here to answer any questions or hang out for translation.
I do have a question for you, CJ. What if, just in case they are late, like they didn't get to open it, and then they happen to see like, okay, it's past the time. What happens to them? Like, can they still enroll?
There's three different phases of late. And I don't know exactly what those phases are, but it's better if you do it right away because there's no risk and you don't have any discontinuity. But there is a grace period. There's a short grace period if you're late, and then there's another grace period. So and then that first grace period is no disruption. So once you turn in your paperwork, they will just retroactively restore your coverage for that period. If you're late a little bit more, then you'll get your coverage reinstated, but there will be a gap. So anything that happened in the interim would not be covered. And then there's a longer period where if you miss it by too much, you have to start from scratch. And if anybody's gone through filling out the paperwork, filling it out from scratch is a lot more work. You can still get it, you can still do it, but filling it out from scratch is a lot more work than just renewing. So if you want to save yourself some hassle and some headaches about whether certain things are covered, especially prescriptions, things like that, it's really, really valuable to do it as soon as you can. But there is a grace period, and it's never too late, but it's going to get more complicated and more arduous the longer.
Clem, I have a question to CJ.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
CJ, is this only for state of Hawaii? My question really is, what about our relatives who are outside of the state of Hawaii? Are they to follow the same directions?
That's a great question, Larry. No one has asked that before, and I think that's a really important one. So the answer to that is that the Medicaid is a national program, so all states are going through this. So every state paused the renewal process during the pandemic because it was federal. And then when the public health emergency ended, they started the process back up again, but every state is doing it a little bit different. So if you have someone in a different state, they probably the basics are still similar, which is contact your health plan, the number on the back of your health card, and make sure that your contact information is up to date. And then also just check in with we have MedQuest is our statewide system. Every state's got a different system for administering Medicaid benefits, and the structures are all a little different. But I would just encourage people in other states who have their healthcare in other states to just check in with whatever their state system is. There's the big differences among states is they're using different amounts of time. So some states we're being allowed to use by the federal government up to 14 months. And Hawaii is using that whole 14 months, which we're really grateful for because it's a big job. It's a lot of work. But some states are doing it much more quickly and using just a couple of months to do it all. So obviously in that case, it's really, really important. It's really time sensitive. So it's a little different. Yes, everybody's going to need to be renewed, but the process is different from state to state.
Thank you.
Maraming salamat, CJ. And of course, we will try to translate. Bilis kasing magsalita ni CJ. He speaks so fast, but
I know.
Very important item. But I'm glad that he can come back to us, during our Monday broadcast. And he did come before. So if you did not catch that one, this is a good time. And of course, you can watch this again in your own time. But CJ, salamat. Maraming salamat for all the information and the assistance for us. And it's wonderful to know that you have different languages for the people who English is not their first language. And I'm not just talking about Philippine languages, but other languages that exist here in our Hawaii state. So salamat, CJ, until the next time. And there will be. Of course.
Thank you all so much. It's so great to see you as usual. We'll see you next time. And please help us get the word, help us spread the word. Everybody who's listening, if you can put up a flyer in your lobby or in your church, that would be really helpful. Bye. Thank you.
Salamat. Maraming salamat. We're almost at the end of our time, but I wanted to translate some of those things that CJ was saying, lalong-lalo na yung sabi niya na kailangan ninyong buksan ninyo ang inyong pink envelope, ang de rosas na envelope ninyo para malaman ninyo kaagad kung kailangan nyo na bang mag-renew, hindi pa kayo pwedeng mag-renew, or nalampasan na ninyo ang oras ninyo para mag-renew. Hindi nila kasi ginawa ito for the last 3 years kasi nga may pandemic. So buti na lang at na-renew ng automatically ang mga ito. Pero para sa mga susunod na taon, kailangan na po ninyong i-renew ang inyong Aloha Care, MedQuest, Medicare, Medicaid. At ang isa pang sinabi niya ay sa likod ng inyong card, kung nasa inyo pa ang inyong mga card na Medicare, Medicaid, mayroong numero na tawagan ninyo ang numerong ito para malaman ninyo kung ano ang status or nasaan kayo sa inyong mga renewal. So kung may gusto kong tanungin, hindi lang yung renewal, syempre kung may mga tanungin pa kayong gustong malaman kung ano pa ang pwede ninyong makuha from these Aloha Care, Medicare, Medicaid, MedQuest, tawagan ninyo ang numerong ito. At ang sabi niya ay pag may mga grace period ko, so alam mo naman tayo mga Pilipino, nagpa-procrastinate, mamaya na lang, ay, dito na pala, tapos na. Of course, ako rin may mga ganyang moments in my buhay. So please, tawagan ninyo agad at buksan ang mga mail ninyo. At syempre, wag nyo na pong hintayin ang inyong last chance to do it. Dahil nga sinabi niya, mahirap kung nawala dahil what if kailangan mo ng medication, kailangan mo ng gamot, hindi ka makakabili or makakabili ka pero ang mahal ng mga gamot kung wala kayong insurance. So yan ang pinaka-importanteng sinabi niya sa atin, gawin ka agad para hindi huminto ang inyong insurance para makabili kayo ng gamot and on time. Okay, we are going to bring our ayan na po, co-founder. Nandito na ba si Dr. Agnes Malate, who will talk to us a little bit about our program, syempre. But I saw a glimpse of Richelle. I think Richelle and Agnes can come on together if you folks want to. You are free to join us at this time. Alam mo naman, meron na lang tayong 10 minuto, mga kapatid. Go ahead, Richelle. I see Natalie Camada on the name, but it's okay. That's Richelle. And of course, on the screen now is also Dr. Agnes Malate. Go ahead, Richelle and Agnes.
Richelle, go ahead first. I'm looking at the background there, and I know you have some other exciting updates before I say aloha to everybody.
I just wanted to wrap up and encourage everyone to join our event today at the Bini at Ani. And the fun part is that after this radiothon, it's not over for us to have some fun. We could have some fun at our other events, which will also be mentioned in the Filcom, I'm Courier, Phil Voice, Filipino Chronicle Hawaii. And we've had a lot of resources here today mentioned. So the fun did not stop today. Look at this here. And Agnes will speak next on that.
Artist ka ng Ilocano ko. Nakaimas na yung pakita mga makanita. Napas telechonan, Richelle?
Saan sa
Oh, you know what? I heard that there's going to be free lectures at the end of the festival. I was surprised because I'm like, okay, free lechon, guys.
Kung natin may sangay speakers tayo, kung dati food talaga at language of caring, language of love. And there used to be a saying, the way to a man or woman's heart is through the stomach. Of feeding them good food. And I know amok ni Richelle, kang kanawin na ko ang luto no, that meeting tayo before or after. And that's so much in terms of the kitay nourishment. Adut nang nangagtayo tang aldaw may panggupti. How we can be healthy, both strong in our mind, in our body, and I think I would say soul too, because the kitay spiritual ality tayo kat importante met data. Iso daytay the Diocesan Congress of Filipino Catholic Clubs nangagtayo ti ko na ni Dr. Clementina Seria Ulip nga ijay Filipino Catholic Club ado ti familiar nga amu tayo ken nasaysayat payat we feel safe, we feel comfortable. Iso dayta ti lugar nga nag-testing tayo ti vaccine nga imuna ken daytay mood vaccination. Iso pa ti ni Dr. Clementina Seria Ulip talaga isursuro na tayo ti sayaatan, and that's one way of caring. And of course, the Ijay Filipino Community Center, Ijay Oahu, Ituimut Bini at Ani Tamawi, Kinijay Kauai, the Philippine Cultural Center, Kauai Philippine Cultural Center. I have to remember that, gotta say Kauai. And Ijay Molokai ni Alice, isukat door to door iso na. Dito enterong community dati Molokai oray hang kapigsaan ti center ejay talaga kang kanayon nga iso she's always part of the community. And ni Alice kasla kadatayumot adong Filipino na ikamang ti native Hawaiian. So ito'y Hawaii may sata yung tatao. We're all together, a community. That's why imuna nga slogan tayo kat caring, connecting community. And sometimes just like of any other family, we don't always agree. But I think one of the success of Filcom Cares is that we can come together and we can contribute our ideas. And we know even in our group, our Filcom Cares team, our core planning, we don't always have the same ideas, but that's the beauty of it. And that's what's great about our community because we're so diverse. And so with that, I just want to mention quickly the one other initiative I think we've been growing is Filcom Cares. And CJ has moved on to Aloha Care, but we still are connected to CJ as well as some of our other grassroots organizations, community organizations, Pacific Islanders, Native Hawaiian community. So the latest one is the Ohana Center for Excellence. Amy Agbayani and I were part of their virtual launching. And so we continue. It was so great to meet them in person. Some of the Pacific Islanders, Atalina Pasi, who in Kahuku helped us with the vaccination. And then, of course, Telly and the other those with Papa Ololokahi. So I want to thank you all. Just gina amin nagitagdangdangag kada itang aldaw adda kami tumanin into Julio. And thank you to our host on the ground, definitely Clemen, Montero, Larry, all the singers from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Filcom Cares. We really thank you and so appreciative that we're able to continue our work together beyond COVID.
Taus-puso pasasalamat. Oh, go ahead, Agnes. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, back to you, Clem.
I love that. Yes, we're so used to, the transitioning is always good and we already know what the other one is almost going to say. But taus-pusong pasasalamat sa inyong lahat at nakinig kayo and you joined in sa ating mga usapan, nakitungtong kayo kada kami, you answered our questions, and I wanted to give you the person who won that last question is Nick Sarmiento of Waipahu. He was able to give us the correct color of the envelope that CJ was talking about. So Nick Sarmiento, congratulations for getting that question correct, and we will be sending you that $50 gift card. So
they say envelope, Clem?
Color nakit de rosas, pink.
Rosa, pink.
Well, so congratulations to Nick Sarmiento. Again, we are Filcom Cares, and we will keep our mission going and to grow a stronger and healthier Filipino community through our collaborative partnerships. And you've heard them before, you've heard them in this show with us. And we would like to continue this, envisioning a unified, engaged community grounded in Filipino values. And I want to repeat, bayanihan, working together, lakas, which is strength, and kapwa, a shared sense of humanity. Maraming salamat for your time. And of course, I will ask Loreto, he doesn't want to come back anymore, but then he has to come back because he created all of those good questions for us. So Loreto, maraming salamat. Agyaman unay ken ka for all those questions that you have created, and it made it an exciting thing for us. So we will be back. Not just on Mondays for our regular broadcast, but we will be back for another Filcom Cares Radiothon. Sir Larry, don't hide from us. He will be with us, Radiothon 8. And I believe we are going to talk about, or where our theme will be centered in Bayanihan. So we've done all the others, our values. So we will come back to you with more information. And please, contact us on any way you can, because we want to know how to, what kinds of reports or what kinds of topics. Kayat miya maamuan no anya dagiti kayat yo ama sursuro gapu kanyami ken dagiti gagayemi nga amuda adagos no anya dagiti sungbat kadagiti questions yo when dagiti saludsod all about health, all about salunat. Last notes from 4 of my favorite people at Filcom Cares. They're all my favorite, okay? Agnes, Loreto, Sir Larry, anything?
I just want to say, I noticed we're talking about colors today. Color, going to the website, and what color is look to the green one. Exactly. And then also the pink. Oh, very good. Loreto, hold it up, hold it up. That's very important.
He's holding onto pink envelopes.
Loreto, why do you have so many? Aduti kabalay mo?
No, these are for sometimes when you need to pay for insurance, they send you the envelopes to send it back. It so happened that they sent pink envelopes for your bill. And so I have a bunch of them since we pay them all at once rather than in the individual pieces. And so my nice prop for today.
So talaga nga importante that nga pink nga envelope. And then hang a pink slip nga di ko pink slip is that's when your termination.
Right.
I still see that. I'm just thinking about that. But this is not a pink slip. This is a pink envelope with important information. Importante na kita nga information. Iso nga diyo ibubulan. Diyos Agina, Mary
Agina.
All right. Alexa, what time?
It's 1 p.m.
All right. We made it.
On time kayo ita.
Have a wonderful day, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Clem, Agnes, Loreto, yours truly, Larry Ordonez. Aloha from Hawaii. Bye-bye.
Kastapay.
Kastapay.
Aloha.
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 pudpay di maininawag sikanti ikis daytoy riknak adunga arapaa nabukel to'y kaunggak ngem sika musika tindadadumak musika tibiyag ko paset naka kasilpo nakat anes ko ken kararwa gapula ken ka pituena kita akas maris jay bagak iti agsapa kas manladi ka maragpatong musika taado arigatin nagpasarakin ka aring nga aday to'y biyagkod na ipusta magungod ka laeng umusika agkupas doon to'y tinag ko ang tantulata mangmangegam ana umpi asunata babaeng kadagiti na unong nga plaka at kaaktulat kaduwag ni musika kayanak nga agkanta tapno na samsamit panaglangenta babae nito'y akanta ipeksakiyaman kuken ka panantapayam kanyak nga awan sarday na musika matlat ka po anagam amuta ket sapay kumatadi ka maumuma kadagiti ayog nga isagsagot puken ka agnanayong tukuman na agpagayam ta kas manladi ka musika taado arigatin nagpasaraken ka aring na aday to'y biyagkod na ipusta magungkot ka laeng umusika agkupas doon to'y tinag ko at tantulanta mangmangega babaeng kadagiti na unong nga plaka adda agtulata kaduwag ni musika babaeng